Well, good morning. I love seeing that opening of all the plants in the nursery. It's really lovely. I like
Beautiful,
that.
isn't it? Yeah.
And that's where we are, by the way. This potting shed is right in the middle of that nursery that you just saw. Adam's here.
Hi, Bex.
Hello, my darling.
Lovely to see you. How
Nice
you
to
doing?
have you here. Thank you very much for joining us. Elaine, good morning. Neil, good morning. I've seen you on the YouTube chat this morning. Elaine, we have a question. Where were you on Thursday? We missed you. I hope you're well. Anyway, thank you very much to everybody for coming to join us this morning. We've got some deals for you in our potting shed, and we want you to be part of it as well, please. So make sure you come and join us. Make sure you interact with us on YouTube, on Facebook, and via the emails as well. ygtv@yougarden.com. Send us your pictures. Send us your questions. Just say hello. That's what we're here for, basically. Yeah, we do like to have a chat. That's what it's all about. It's about a gardening community, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's about. You know, we're doing things differently here, aren't we, Bex?
Absolutely.
It's a two-way experience with us. It's not just like buy this, have this, buy this, have this. Yeah, we want to talk about things. We want to share our experiences. We want to kind of share our knowledge and interests and stuff with you.
So let us know what you've been doing in the garden this week. Did you get out in the garden? Have you been doing some jobs? Because it's looking quite nice. Next week is actually looking quite nice as well.
A lot of dry weather on the way finally. Yeah. The rest of October into November. So we need, we do need to dry out a bit, don't we?
I've still got all my bulbs to plant.
Yeah.
Still need doing.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get them done next week. Never mind. I will get them done very soon. Right, let's just cover off some of the information for you, first of all. We have a free gift available for you with every single purchase that you make today. So if you place multiple purchases, you will get a free gift depending on how many purchases you make, how many orders you make. The free gift is our bag of Narcissus, the Tete a Tete bulbs. Pack of 25 worth £9.99. Stu's right. Why are we giving these away? Because we should be selling these right now. It's the perfect time.
Like we said the other day, because we care, because we're nice, because, we want to have a two-way thing.
Yeah.
It's not all about take. It's about give sometimes.
Absolutely, and we're giving £9.99 worth of those bulbs. Fantastic. Perfect time to plant those. They'll come back for so many years, won't they? Daffodils are the most reliable.
Tete are the most stunning miniature variety of daffodil. They're divine. So cheery and happy, aren't they?
Yeah, and you get multiple flowers per stem here as well. You can get up to 4, can't you?
Yeah, and they flower for weeks. I mean, last year I put about 30, 40 little clumps in my garden, and you know what, Bex? They flowered for probably nearly 4 to 6 weeks.
Wow.
Because they kept sending up new little stems because they don't all flower at once.
No.
So some come out and then more come out, and they just kept going. Beautiful.
Amazing. Perfect time of year as well. That gorgeous colour right in springtime when you know that the warmer weather is coming. Just use the code to get hold of that free gift. It's on the screen there, YGTV4224. When you place your order, you put that code in, the free gift goes in your basket. But it doesn't just give you the free gift, it actually unlocks all of the other deals. So if there's a buy one, get one free, or a buy one, get 2 free, or a saving on a particular item, or the mix and match offer that we've got, for example, on the bulbs, it unlocks all of those. So it's really, really important to remember to put in that code when you place your order. There are some massive savings on some items today. We've got a bargain table, as little as £4.99 you could be paying for certain items. The other thing that the offer code will unlock is the free postage. So under £40, you'll only pay 1 postage cost, £6.99. So if you've got 4 items in your basket that have all got £6.99, you'll only pay it once. But if you can get your order to over £40 and use the offer code, we'll remove all of that postage cost for you. Do look out for the free postage items. That's a really important one. The compost, the strolch, the bark mulch. There was another one as well. Anyway, any of the bagged products tend to have a free postage on them. So that's a great way to tip your order over the £40 or to get multiples of your free gift. It depends what works best for you. Join us on the chat, as I said, Facebook, YouTube, or sending us emails and pictures to ygtv@yougarden.com. And of course, if you're not a member of our discount club already, do consider joining today. It costs you £5 to join. That lasts for 12 months. It auto-renews at the end of the 12 months, though you can cancel it if you want to. We're not trying to tie you into it. And it'll give you 10% discount on everything that you buy in the potting shed. You can use that discount across the website as well. Some things you only get the 5% discount on, but the majority is 10%, and you get £20 worth of YouGarden vouchers. Adam became a member.
I did, yeah.
It took you long enough, didn't it?
It did take me long enough,
my word.
So I've bought 3 packs of the parrot tulips.
That's one of the favourites. It should have been put onto the favourites table, but because it's in the 3 for 2 offer, we've kept it over there. But just so you know how popular that one was, it should be on the favourites
So I
table.
bought 3 of them. I bought 3 of the Peruvian lilies as well, 3 packs of those.
The Caribbean lily?
Caribbean lily,
Nice.
yeah. And
Those
I
two
bought one of the fascicularias as well.
Nice.
And I got
the Bromeliad.
got my free bulbs.
Of course.
And I joined the club. And I think it said I saved something like, I saved about 50 quid or something.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was crazy what I saved. And what I'm going to do is, I thought what I might do is, if Stu allows me, I thought if my order comes Tuesday or Wednesday, I thought I might bring it in on Thursday and open it live on air.
That would be great. Yeah, why not?
Because it's always a really exciting moment, isn't it, when you open up your...
Amazing.
So, but it should be there by then, so yeah.
Let's hope so. Well, yes, we are here Sundays and Thursdays in the potting shed. I won't be here next week. Adam and Sean will be here on Thursday next week. But if you are interested in tuning in regularly, it's Sunday morning from 9:30, Thursday from 10 o'clock, and we are doing shows on TikTok as well. We'll be there this afternoon. We'll talk to you more about that. But let's get into it. That's enough of the boring stuff. Hello to you all. Let's start with the items that we've got in front of us, shall we? I'm going to start at this end, if that's okay. Oh no, he's starting at that end. He's going for the delphs. All right, he's going for the delphiniums. These are the magic fountain. It's in a 2-litre pot. Now, if that's all you want today, it's $4.99 or $4.49 if you're in the club, and you're going to get £10 worth of free bulbs included in there as well. I mean, that's pretty cool, isn't it?
It is pretty cool, Bex, as well, because 25 of those bulbs as well in that pack, and they're going to come up year after year after year, and so is this going to come up year after year after year as well. And you might be thinking, yeah, but it's nearly October, nearly November. Why do I want to buy a delphinium now? Well, you can get that delphinium established now. You can get that to root into the ground now. In fact, should we start as we mean to go on?
Let's have a look at those roots, Adam. Why not? Oh, it's a rooty beauty.
Look at that.
Rooty beauty right there.
So, and what Bex what we keep trying to tell you at the moment is, if you get these plants in the ground now, this time of year, because the ground is as warm as it's pretty much going to get. In fact, in another 3 or 4 weeks' time, it's going to start to cool down.
Indeed.
So what happens is, you get these perennials in now, you get the shrubs in now. Those roots that you saw there, they'll start to get established into the ground.
Yeah.
So come the spring, that delphinium doesn't have to worry about putting roots down and flowering. All it needs to concentrate on is flowering. It's just going to be ready to flower for you. And these are stunners, magic fountain. Beautiful, fantastic colours. Huge, great big spikes of flower. And if you're lucky, in fact, probably not if you're not lucky, you still happen going to get it. If you cut these down after they've finished flowering, give them a good liquid feed with our blooming fast, for example, they'll give you another lot of flower later in the season.
Yeah, and another reason to buy right now is this is where you get your bargains. This is where you get some absolutely amazing prices. So get that one in your basket. 511552 is the item number. You go to YouGarden.com to place your order. Get that one in your basket. Use the code. You'll get the saving and the free gift included in there as well. Let's move on though, shall we? We're going to go fast and furious this morning. Let's get on to the Bromeliad. This is the one that Adam bought this week, and I can see why. First of all, look at what you're getting right now, which is incredible foliage plant, isn't it? Right now.
It's stunning. Yeah, I mean, it's evergreen as well, so it looks good all the year through. And it's got these really kind of unusual leaves, sort of slightly...
serrated.
Serrated, yeah, but not in a spiteful way, just textured. But the thing with this is, oh my goodness me, when we take this away...
Yeah.
That is what this is going to do. It produces these out of this world looking kind of blooms, which are just really, really incredibly unusual. So first of all, the base of the leaves turns bright red. And then the actual flower centre itself, that becomes like an electric blue colour, which is, I mean, honestly, you would think, if you didn't know this plant and somebody showed you this plant, you think, you've made that up. That's AI. That's an AI created plant.
Real.
That's not real. Honestly, the reason I bought another one of these is because I've grown these before, but I left them in my old garden back in Bishop Stortford. And as Stu was just saying, I so miss growing this. And I just want this really weird, unusual plant again. And all this asks of you is plant it somewhere really nice and sunny, well-drained soil. It's fantastic for pots, and it'll come back year after year after year, and it will give you these most stunning talking point kind of flowers.
Yeah, and it's not too fussy on soil type either, is it? Just nice free draining. It'll be perfectly happy. And of course, it is a £10 saving here today as long as you're using that offer code YGTV4224. The item code you need is on the top of the screen, 560100. Let's go on to a bit of winter fragrance. I mean, winter flowers, which seems a bit bit crazy sometimes, but actually there's a few things you can have in your garden that'll give you winter flowers, but also incredible fragrance. And sarcococca is one of them. This is one I discovered 10 plus years ago, and I'm so glad I discovered this because the fragrance you get from this is so good.
Yeah, the fragrance is knockout on this. And I guess, you know, some flowers decide to flower in the winter time because there's less competition for pollinators. So, you know, if you're flowering, you know, on a mild day in January or February, and let's face it, these days we can get 15, 16 degrees on a mild day in January or February.
I got married on January the 5th thinking I was going to have this beautiful winter wedding, and I was actually quite keen about it being a beautiful winter wedding. So January the 5th, you'd think, you know, nice and chilly.
Crisp and bright. And
we were all outside. It was sunshine. I was in my just wedding dress, perfectly happy out there because it was such a nice warm day. And we get them a lot, don't we?
We do. I mean, more and more, you know, these days. And of course, the thing is, when you get those warm days or really mild days in winter, the fragrance from these kind of plants really does pop. And of course, those bees, they pop out and they're going to make literally a beeline for this plant because they want that nectar. But I mean, this plant has got so many more attributes. It's evergreen to start with, which is fantastic. So it always looks good all the year through. It has these flowers for quite a long period of time. It's a clump forming shrub. It only really ever gets to about knee height to probably waist height maximum. It's really good for shade. It's a good shade tolerant plant. It's drought tolerant. It's super hardy. It's easy to grow. Again, fantastic in the pot. Beautiful, stunning plant. And this is one of about 3 winter flowering plants that we're going to bring to you today, 2 of which are also fragrant.
Nice.
And we'll probably suggest at the end, if you can stretch to it, to go for all 3.
Yeah.
And give yourself a real fantastic winter flowering fragrant
succession
combo.
as well, isn't there? It's really good. And Stu was just showing you as he got close in there are buds appearing on there, and those are just going to keep coming out. Really beautiful flowers, and then the fragrance. Honestly, you don't even have to get that close to the plant to smell it. It's a sweet smell, isn't it?
Yeah,
gorgeous.
it just wafts up into the air. I mean, you literally on a mild or a warm winter's day, you'll step outside and you'll go, wow, what is that fragrance? I mean, it really is gorgeous. And if you get your nose down onto the plant, you'll know exactly where it's coming from.
Well, we know several of you are regulars. You got this last year, so thank you very much for those purchases. We'd love to know how you've got on with those. Stu's saying we think it was Lawrence that got 8 of them last year, and I know Olwyn, I know you had this one in your garden. We'd love to know how they're getting on. Are they looking beautiful? Anybody that missed out last year when we were bringing this to you, maybe now's the time to get it. It's a £5 saving with the code today. Right, let's just have a dip into the chat, shall we? See who's here. So Elaine and Neil, good morning to you. You're all talking to each other, which is very nice. Elaine just says Beck's just got back from Wales. Do you mean Wales? Oh, Wales. Yes, you've corrected that. Just got back from Wales. Lovely part of the country. Love that. Thanks, Neil. Waiting on the storm coming up here. That's from Bill. Oh my word, there's a storm happening. Neil says it's warm, wet and misty here in Sheffield. I quite like those misty days. I quite like them, as long as they don't stick around for too long. Wet and windy in Manchester. Who's getting the bulbs in the ground? Millie. Oh, Millie says dry and clear skies in Croydon. I love the weather reports. I love hearing what it's like in various different...
It's nice to know that you can just visualise, can't you, as people say what the different weather is like.
So it's raining currently here. It's grey skies, raining. It's not too cold. I've got my shorts on today. So it's not too cold, particularly.
I think it's going south to north, the rain today, so...
Well, I thought it was going to get sunny here later on.
Yeah, I think it's, it's kind of...
So Millie's going to get her bulbs in the ground, apparently. Yeah, going to try and plant some bulbs out today. Well done. Elaine says I got my verbena in yesterday. Neil says waiting for my free tete-a-tete to arrive with my latest order. Oh, and then he used an older code to get a different gift on another. That is quite savvy, Neil. That's somebody who's been watching for a while and understands. Well done. Elaine is saying the fragrance is so beautiful. Mine is at the back door. Perfect place for it. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, mine's in the border near the back door. The sarcococca, that is. Just so that when I am going out, I don't have to go to the other side of the garden to get the fragrance. It's beautiful. What's happening? Chucking it down in Dorset, says Dingo. Oh... I'm not doing the accent, Stu. I'm not doing the accent, no. Right, well, thank you very much for joining in on the chat there. I haven't checked the emails, but do send us some of your emails and pictures as well if you fancy showing them on screen. Let's go over to our favourites table. We didn't quite get it right on Thursday. We were a little bit off on Thursday, and that's absolutely fine. We don't mind, because we start off the week with what we think is going to be your favourites, and then you vote with your wallets, with your purses. Oh, apparently we've got 2 out of 5. That was bad.
And well, to be fair, one of them's not actually on here at the moment, is it? And it should be. So,
true.
So, yeah.
We knew the parrot was going to be here, though, Stu. We knew it. But we have to keep it with the other bulbs. Anyway, let's move on, shall we? Lovely surprise winner. So glad that the Fragrant clematis, the kimiko, has appeared on here. And actually, once we realised on Thursday how well this was selling, and we went through all the attributes of it, it's an obvious one for the favourites table, isn't it?
Well, it is, because I said to you, Bexy, imagine, if you could get a clematis, first of all, it's evergreen.
Yeah. They're never evergreen.
It's fragrant.
Yeah.
It's compact.
Yeah.
It's smothered in white flowers for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Of course it should be
and
here.
Pruning is almost negligible. So, tick, 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 tick. I mean, it is just a real stunning clematis, and it's a great clematis for a really small space, because this one only gets to about 1.2 metres maximum.
So our tower pots, that again, the regulars, you'll all know about this. If you don't know what the tower pot is and you want to know, just send us an email or something and we'll go into the details for you. But if you've got a spare tower pot, this would be perfect for it, yeah?
It would be absolutely ideal. This is probably one of the I think this is kind of in the Boulevard kind of range as well.
Right, yeah, the nice compact size.
Clematis. So, this is going to be absolutely perfect for one of the tower pots. And just think all year round, even when it's not flowering, you can have those, these gorgeous leaves, these lovely, really pretty shaped leaves that have got a nice sheen and nice gloss to them, evergreen all the year through. And then in the spring, for a good sort of 4 to 6 weeks, white flowers with that lovely green, limey green eye to the flower, fragrance to those flowers as well. And for the first 2 or 3 years, you don't even need to worry about pruning this. You just leave it to do its thing. If in the wind, I don't know, an odd little bit gets snapped off or damaged, you can just trim that off and shape it. But other than that, just leave it. And perhaps after 3 or 4 years, if you're really in the mood, you can take it down quite brutally in the spring to 15, 20 centimetres and let it grow back. But honestly,
just leave it alone.
Just leave it alone. And if you do grow it in a tower pot, feed it and water it, because clematis do like a really good food.
So it's the same rules that you'd follow with any other clematis. Keep the roots cool, because that'll help it, flowering. So just keep it in the shade, basically. The rest of the plant wants to be in a full sun position, but just keep the roots nice and shady. And obviously they are hungry, so make sure you're feeding and watering. It is a double up deal here. Now I do want you to double up, because just look at the deal. So you can get one of these for $12.99. Lovely. Put 2 in your basket. You'll get the second one for £1. You need to use the code in order to do that, so don't just buy one. For £1 more, definitely get 2. And both of those, you could plant both of them into a tower pot, and that'll just give you an even more full and beautiful display. Or if you're trying to get it to go up and over something, bearing in mind it's a little bit compact, but up and over, then you could put one on either side. So double up for £1 here. 550101 is the item number. Always use the code. That's what unlocks the savings and the deals, but also puts your free gift into your basket as well.
And if you put it in a tower pot, don't let it grow straight
yes,
up.
I love this tip.
Yeah, grow it sideways. Make it go around the pot in a horizontal position, because if you do that, that kind of restricts the sap, and that will make it flower even more than if it grows straight up.
Yeah, snake it.
Yeah, snake it around, like an elter-skelter. Kind of like one of those. It's an elter-skelter, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Kind of like that.
Going up rather than down.
Yeah.
Sneaky trick, Stu's saying. Do you want to know a sneaky trick? Yes, please. What's the sneaky trick, Stu? All right, Stu's made a basket. Let's have a little look at it. Okay, so we've put the clematis in. We've put 2 in. And we've got the parrot bulbs in. Oh, we've gone for 3 parrot bulbs. 3 for 2 has been triggered, but we don't get the rest of the YouGarden TV deals. So let's put the code in, YGTV 4224. Check out that price, look. Oh, £33.97, that was at £52. Yeah, it's saving nearly as much as we're spending there. And the clematis works out at £7 each. Plus, we've got our free narcissus bulbs that have been added into there as well. But the price of the 3 for 2 bulbs... okay, so I do understand. So can you see that we're not actually over £40, are we? Look, the item subtotal is £33.97, but the tulips that cost has been counted in there. It's counted it as an item. So even though you're not actually over the £40, you're still getting the free postage there.
Oh.
Stu, that is a sneaky thing there. It's just the way the system has counted up the items in there. We can't override that, so... Bargain! Let's move on, shall we?
Is that, well...
That is so naughty. I hope
is that an anomaly?
Mr.
Is that
McDermott
meant to
is
be
not watching this morning. We're going to be in trouble.
It's just a thing. It's just a thing. Yeah, it's just, you know, there you go.
Let's move on to another one that got promoted onto the favourites table. And again, I think it's price points, isn't it, here? I mean, obviously, you're not just going to buy something because it's a great price. You're going to buy it because you love it. But this is £4.99. It's a half-price deal. This is actually something that I would consider multi-ordering on. One is lovely, but I would definitely consider getting maybe 3 or 5 of these. Yeah,
and perovskia is, you know, it's almost kind of like a little sub-shrub or like a shrubby...
Sub-shrub. I like that.
Sort of a shrubby herbaceous plant because it's woody, but also it kind of dies back in the winter as well. So it kind of falls between being an herbaceous perennial and a shrub. First thing, what you'll notice is probably when you get out of the box at home, even though the leaves are falling off now, because it is deciduous. So, but what you'll notice is really fragrant foliage on this. That sort of sage-like fragrance, which is really, really nice. This is ridiculously hardy as well. It's called Russian sage. This is hardy down to about -20, -25. It's really, really tough. It's super, super drought tolerant. It will grow, once it's established, it will grow in the most dry soil you can imagine. It will grow in really poor soils as well. In fact, don't put it in really rich soil. If you put it in really rich soil, it will get really leggy and kind of just put on loads and loads of growth and won't flower so well. If you put it in poorer soil, it'll actually force it to flower even more. And it flowers for month after month after month, a good 3 or 4 months worth of flowers from one of these, and you get that silvery, really aromatic foliage as well. Great for pots, as you can see there. It looks fantastic, grown in a pot. Great for beds and borders. You could grow it as a sort of a rough hedge if you wanted to.
Oh yeah,
it's a bit of a kind of
like a low-growing one.
Yeah, but you know, if you want a hedge that's a little bit tumbling, a little bit, you know, not informal. That's the word.
Like a border to a pathway or something or other.
Yeah, I mean, almost like a substitute for lavender. Because it will flower longer than lavender. It will grow in exactly the same kind of place as lavender. It'll attract all the pollinators just like lavender, but it will give you a longer flowering period than lavender as well. And then all you need to do at the end of the year, what you'll find is about this time of year, all the leaves start to turn yellow. They'll all fall off, and you've got 2 options. You can just leave the stems through the winter if you want to, or you can just trim the stems down to about sort of 3 or 4 inches above the ground. And then next spring they'll reshoot from where you've actually cut them down. So
you get a bushier plant that way as well?
Yeah, you'll get a bushier plant. But what you will find as well, you know, as the plant establishes, you'll get more and more stems come up.
Nice.
So eventually you might have half a dozen or so stems coming up, and each of those will produce like little side stems in itself, and then you end up with that, you know, this sort of like thicket, if you like, of foliage and flower, and it's a real joy. I mean, it just flowers its socks off. Well, quite often we talk about plants, don't we, Bex, where we say it's just one of those plants, you just plant it
and leave it.
and it just does its thing, and it's as simple as that, and this is one of those.
Well, do grab hold of that one. It has been promoted onto our favourites table as of this morning. It's 511497. It's only £4.99. So if you just want that, you get that and your bag of free bulbs for worth £9.99. You will pay postage on it, but still, that's a great order to get if you're just looking to, you know, spend a little bit this morning. Good morning, Amanda. I believe you've just joined in on the chat, and Alistair, I believe you've just joined us as well. So thank you very much for coming in and saying hello this morning. Let's move on. We're on to our third item, onto our favourites table, and that is the Philadelphus. This is the mock orange, and we call this one virginal.
We do, yeah, virginal, because it's got pure sort of white flowers, hence that name. And this is a great shrub to fill a big space. You know, if you've got a space that you really want to fill, and you want something that's really impactful and hardy, easy to grow. It's another shrub as well. It's really not particularly fussy about the soil it grows in. Right. Grow in clay soil or grow in sandy soil. It won't like extremely dry soils. Having said that, once it's established, it's pretty damn drought tolerant, this plant. I've seen Philadelphus grown in lots of people's gardens, and it's really long lived. I mean, this shrub will last 20, 30, 40, 50 years. I mean, it's a real survivor. And what it will do every spring, kind of probably late spring into early summer, it just explodes into this mass of double white flowers with an absolutely beautiful fragrance. Really, really sweet fragrance. Mock orange, they call it, because it's almost got that citrusy kind of orange blossom fragrance to it. And it flowers for a good few weeks, probably sort of 4 to 6 weeks from start to finish. And if you leave it, it can get up to 3 to 4 metres tall and perhaps a couple of metres wide, but you can prune it back if you want to. And ideally, time to prune it is immediately after it's finished flowering, because then the new wood it creates will give you the flowering wood for the following year. So basically it flowers on older wood. But a fabulous shrub, an amazing shrub. I just can't recommend this highly enough. And again, just like the perovskia, so easy to grow, but it will just give so much for such minimum input.
Better than half price if you're in the club. It's £7.19. There is a £7 saving on there, but because you're a club member, you get the extra 10% off there as well. So better than half price. An amazing time to start getting those perennials and get them planted in the garden. Perfect time, in actual fact. Next one we've got is, this was our head gardener's pick. He did a little selection, 3 different plants. It was in a 9 centimetre at the time, but it was three plants in the collection, and this was one of the ones that was in there. And I say that because for our head gardener to do his head gardener's pick and this be one of them, I think that's got to tell you something about how wonderful this plant is, and it really is, isn't it?
Yeah, again, Bex, it's one of those ones that's got so many attributes. First of all, it's evergreen. So, we were talking earlier on about the sarcococca being evergreen. This is another evergreen shrub. So all the way through the year, you've got these lovely glossy green leaves. This is a very compact kind of plant as well. Probably gets to about 1 metre tall eventually, but it's certainly not fast growing. You might have grown other types of Escallonia in the past, and they can be really big, wiry,
can't they? Yeah.
Scruffy kind of plants that really get out of shape quite quickly and can be quite annoying. This grows in a nice sort of dome sort of shape. You can see there, even fantastic in a pot. My husband's got one of these in the front garden, grown in a pot that looks amazing. We bought one for Jenny, his mum, last year. Hers has been flowering its socks off, and it's, for weeks it's just smothered in these heads, these lovely heads of pink flower. And what I'm going to do, is there a bit of a fragrance on that, Bex?
Have a little smell, shall we?
Because I thought there was a little bit of a fragrance, but I can't, well, not really.
I can't smell it, but can you?
No, not really.
I can't smell it.
No, I'm not going to tell you it's fragrant, but I think possibly when ours was in full flower in May.
Because you get a couple of blooms off this. It sort of does it May, June time. It goes a little bit quiet, and then it does a second flourish around now.
Yeah, it does.
So maybe it is more fragrant for its first bloom.
I do remember when ours really was in full flower in the first part of the year, it had a little bit of a fragrance. I'm not going to overplay it. But, putting that aside, you've got the stunning beauty of those lovely conical flower heads. You've got the evergreen foliage. You've got a plant that's compact. You've got a plant that's really drought tolerant. A plant that does well in full sun. A plant that's not particularly fussed about soil. There's a pattern developing, isn't there, today?
There is a bit of a pattern.
Yeah.
I do want to just go back to the evergreen part of it, though, because I think it's a really important one. And certainly at this time of year, this is the part where we really notice the gaps in our borders, don't we? Where we notice where we've got too many deciduous plants, and where we might need to just, I need to add in something with evergreen there because it's looking a bit bare there. Everything's starting to drop its leaves. So do consider that. If you're looking at your garden and thinking there's a few bare spots, that would be an amazing one. A nice, compact, evergreen, gorgeous flowers, and really well established, because it's coming to you in that 2 litre pot as well, with the £5 saving. Finally, on our favourites table, we've kept this one going for a couple of weeks. This is its 2nd week now. I don't know if it's on next week's show plan or not. I haven't received that as yet. But this is the Camellia Yuletide, and I love the idea of this one because, I've got, we do the holly standards, and I'm sure we'll be bringing those to you soon. There's lovely standard trees with the holly ball up at the top there. They've got the berries
classic,
and stuff.
aren't they, really?
Gorgeous,
yeah.
Absolutely beautiful as, a Christmas thing to have. And I put those out the side, the front of my house at Christmas time, and they look beautiful. But this, I think, is just a lovely take on having something a bit festive that isn't quite as obvious as holly. This is gorgeous, again, evergreen, but it's the combination of the green and the beautiful red flowers.
Yeah,
it's really Christmassy.
And also, for me, it's the cheek of this plant to put out such beautiful flowers, in the middle of January. It's almost like skinny dipping kind of, Southend, in the middle of February. It's like what an outrageous thing to do. What a crazy thing to do. Well, that's what this plant does. does. It decides in the sort of the coldest, darkest, meanest time of the year to put on a display of stunningly beautiful single red flowers with fabulous yellow stamens. There they are, and not just a few.
No, you get loads of them.
I would use it. Well, it's not a swear word, but I'm not just
Don't
a few.
Swear. There's a lot, though, isn't there?
Not just a piddly few flowers. Loads and loads and loads of flowers over a good period of time.
Looking at this plant, which again, it's well established. It's in that 15-centimetre pot. Is this one we took out of the pot the other day?
Yeah, that's got a good root.
Look. There we go. Look, so it's a really nicely established plant. Really good root structure there. There's no compost falling off that. You can see how solid that root structure is. But when you start going hunting, there are some really big fat buds that we were showing you there. But as I go along the stems, I can see buds at every leaf axil here.
Yeah.
All the way down. There's the plant that you receive. You're not going to have to wait long, are you?
No, I mean it will flower. It will. I mean, in fact, there's a flower bud already opening there, and that's a little bit.
It's even bigger than it was the other day.
Yeah, well, that's a little bit ahead of its time. We're always honest with you. The reason for that is because we keep these plants in a greenhouse on a Dutch trolley for our show, so they've had a little bit more extra warmth.
Yeah.
But even so, yours, when you get yours home, within another 3 or 4 weeks, yours will start to get to this stage, and it will turn into this. And I'll tell you what, when you go into your garden on one of those gloomy kind of December or sort of January kind of mornings, and it's really dull and dark and dank, and you just stumble across this shrub smothered in these beautiful red flowers with the little yellow stamens and the little sort of winter bees buzzing about and stuff. It will just so lift your mood. I mean, just one little thing to say about it: if you've got a garden where rhodies and azaleas and things like that are already thriving, they've got lovely green lush leaves. This can go in the soil along with those plants. If you haven't got that kind of soil, if you haven't got acid soil, you can grow these in pots using ericaceous compost, and they do make fantastic pot plants, camellias, absolutely glorious pot plants. And just one final thing to say about these: if you ever want to prune them immediately after they're finished flowering, and then the new growth that they make will give you flower for the following year.
Lovely. If you can get a couple of those, I think that'd be a really nice idea to have either side of your doorway when you've got visitors coming round at Christmas time and you've got that gorgeous evergreen shrub with those bright red flowers. I think it'd be a nice festive welcome. Of course, one is absolutely fine, but a pair of them would be absolutely gorgeous as well. 510818 is the item number, and it's a £15 saving on there as well, as long as you use the code YGTV4224. It is 10 o'clock. Let's do a quick reminder of the things you've seen so far. We've still got loads to show you, and we'll be here until 12:30. We started off with the delphinium, the magic fountain. So it's in the 2-litre pot. It has got a £10 saving. It's only £4.99. Now's the time to shop for your bargains. It is a perennial. It'll come back for you year after year as long as you give it the extra protection it needs. And by that, I mean just protect it from the slugs and snails, because they do like that new growth. But then you will get these beautiful towers of flowers from this. 511552 is the item number. Next, we had the Bromeliad, the fasicularia bicolour, which will produce the most amazing tropical, weird and wonderful flowers here. Electric blue colour, red stripes coming along the foliage there as well. And of course, it's an evergreen plant, so it always looks amazing. It's got this lovely grass-like foliage, slightly serrated, but not so sharp it's going to be annoying to you. But it'll look fantastic all year round, and then in the summertime, you'll get these amazing flowers on there as well. Half price deal, £9.99, as long as you use the offer code though. 560100 is the item number. Sarcococca was the next one, the winter gem, or I've heard it called chocolate box as well, because it has a lovely kind of vanilla-y, sweet smell to it, and it's a winter flowering shrub. It can cope in slightly shady positions as well. This is the beautiful thing about this plant. You can put it in a sunny spot, you can put it in a slightly shady spot, but it will look good all year round. It stays nice and compact, and you get the most fragrant, gorgeous flowers in winter time. 510563 is the item number. Onto our favourites table, we had the kimiko, which is a fragrant evergreen clematis. I mean, there you go. That's the reason to buy it. It's fragrant, it's evergreen. It's also nice and compact. It also doesn't require any kind of pruning at all, so it ticks all of the boxes. Do the same thing that you would do with other clematis. Keep it in a nice sunny spot, keep the roots shaded, and also feed it well. It is a hungry plant, all clematis are. 550101 is the item number. Of course, it's a double up deal, so you can get two for £13.99. The second one is just £1. If you put that two in your basket and enter the code. Perovskia, the Russian sage. Now, Adam was saying this is a great one as an alternative to lavender. It'll grow in the same places, requires, you know, the same sort of care, but actually it will flower for longer, which is the beautiful thing about this. Lovely fragrant foliage you get from there. Pollinators absolutely adore it. Really, really easy to grow, and only £4.99. Half price deal today. 511497. Mock orange, oh, I love the fragrance. I'm really into the fragrance at the moment, and that's what you're going to get with this Philadelphus. It's called virginal because you get these lovely double flowers on here, pure white, but the fragrance is that lovely citrusy, sweet citrus, because that mock orange scent there. Better than half price if you are in the club. We've taken £7 off, but of course a club member will get an extra 10% discount as well, so it works out just £7.19 as long as you're using that code. 510393 is the item number. And another evergreen one for you, Escallonia, the pink elle. So think about where you've got those gaps in your borders, where things are starting to drop their leaves, where it's just looking a bit boring, a bit plain, a bit bare. This is where you might want to add in an Escallonia. It doesn't get too big, so it's great for sort of middle of the border. Or of course, if you want to keep it in a pot, it does stay nice and compact. Love those dense kind of panicles of flowers you get on there, and they are a beautiful shade of pink as well. 510545 is the item number, taking a third off the price of that one for you. Make sure you use your code to get the extra discounts, and of course you'll get the extra 10% if you're in the club as well. And finally, it is the Camellia, the Yuletide, another evergreen. Does require ericaceous compost, so bear that in mind. But if you haven't got ericaceous compost in your or ericaceous soil in your garden, then you can grow this happily in a pot. Just get yourself some ericaceous compost to do that. Beautiful red flowers. This is obviously why it's called Yuletide, because you have those lovely kind of green and red combinations. What have we still got? We've still got all our pot deals, which are going to come up for you in a second. We've still got that 3 for 2, which Adam took advantage of this week on the bulbs, where you can mix and match which bulbs you want in your baskets. We've got strulch, we've got mulch, we've got compost, we've got garden-ready plants. We've got
gorgeous peony.
Peony. We've got Philadelphia.
Gorgeous white lilac.
White lilac, that's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Hibiscus coming up. What's that one? I forgot.
Some
what
nice
it's called.
garden readies. Oh, the hydrangea.
Hydrangea, thank you.
Or
there you go.
hydrangea, as a man said the other day on social media.
So there's so much still to show you. We are here, it's just 10 nearly. We are here until 12:30 this afternoon. Let's have a little look, because Stu's telling me we have an email. Elaine, thank you so much. Oh, she sent a picture of her winter gem, the sarcococca. Oh, that looks amazing. Hey, look at how green and luscious that is. She's got it in one of our pots as well.
Look how shiny it is.
I mean, it's her pot, it's not our pot.
It almost looks like it's had leaf shine.
It does, doesn't it?
I mean, that is really stunning, just as an evergreen, never mind the flowers.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's going to be loads of buds appearing on there as well. That's looking really nice, Elaine. Thank you for sending us that update there. Let me just head back into the YouTube chat. Alistair apparently is talking about his cruise. It's making us all jealous.
Where's he going? Does he say?
Canary. Oh, canaries.
Love the because the amount of beautiful plants you see in the canaries.
Nice. Oh. Just looking today, had to delay my latest order because I'll be cruising to the Canaries for 2 weeks. How very nice. A cheap deal.
Do you know the great thing about the Canaries is when you get to the Canaries...
Canaries go cheap. Cheap. Oh. Sorry, it was Stu in my ear. What joke did he say this morning?
Oh,
did I tell you when I fell in the river in Egypt?
Yeah.
I'm still in denial.
Yeah, and then I fell in that river in Paris, and it was insane. Yeah. We weren't going to share them, but we have.
Anyway, moving on.
So when you go to the Canaries... Great thing I love about the Canaries is it's like all your houseplants have been set free. It is, isn't it? Because like, you kind of leave your living room and your rubber plant is about that tall. And that lovely rubber plant. And then you're sitting in a square somewhere in the Canaries and there's one with a trunk on it and it's 30, 40 foot tall.
Amazing.
Wow, this is where houseplants come to grow up and live free.
Well, lovely. Thank you so much. Alistair, I hope you have a lovely time. We're not jealous at all.
No.
I mean, we are just a little bit, but you know,
we wouldn't want to go anywhere.
Elaine, hang on, Elaine was saying something about head gardener's selection, that she got it. Yes, I got the head gardener's choice. It's fantastic, so thank you very much. And Neil says, I managed to mix and match bulbs from previous shows. Oh, cheeky boy. Cheeky boy. Well done. Right, let's take you on to some of the pots that we've got available for you. It's still a bit chilly, isn't it? I need to whack the heating up.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about, you talk about
bit,
wicker. I'm going to get the heating controls because it's a bit chilly.
It is a bit. Oh, these plastic pots are very cool to the touch. But having said that, though, beautiful pots, aren't they? Look at these. I mean, Bex and I were saying the other day, we kind of think these have got a bit of a sort of an oriental kind of look to them. You can always imagine these kind of having a bit of Japanese or kind of Chinese influence. Really nice pots. And Stu's done the thing there because they're not silver. He's just scrubbed the silver out because
they're not silver.
They're not silver.
They're white. They're black and white.
They're about as silver as silver as a grape. I mean, you know, these are white, but look at that stunning design, and not just a flat design, textured as well. You've got texture on these, and then you've got this lovely little sort of rim round the top that I like. You've got your drainage holes as well. You've got drainage holes, but also you've got those little reservoirs around there. So you'll hold some water in the base, but obviously you've got the drainage holes so they don't get waterlogged. But the good thing about plastic pots, or ab ones in particular, is somebody's really thought about them. I mean, look at the fact you've got that lovely patination on the side and then the solid rim at the top.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that contrast.
Makes it stand out, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. And look at this. If you're not as dexterous as you used to be and you want to lift these pots up, you can get your fingers right under the rim of that pot as well, so you can easily lift and move the pot around. These are beautiful, and, you know, near enough everything will look amazing in these pots.
Yeah, I really like the design as well, as you're saying. It's got that sort of more Eastern Oriental theme going to it as well. So what could we put in here?
Well, we were saying about the Camellia, the yuletide, for example. Ooh. That would start off in this quite well.
I got a pomegranate. That could go in there. That would live in there for absolutely ages.
I'll tell you what as well, I'm going to put these two just to the side a minute, because I think also the sarcococca.
Oh, that would work nicely, wouldn't it?
I mean, obviously it'd be a bit higher up in the pot than this, but by the time you put the compost in there, but the sarcococca would look great in there, and that'd be happy in there for a good sort of 3 or 4 years. Oh, and the pink elle as well.
Escallonia, that'd live in there for a little while, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be good in there, Bex, for a good 2 or 3 years as well. No problem at all.
If you're not buying any of the shrubs and you're going for bulbs, and you've got loads of bulbs to plant out, you've run out of pots, these would be a great idea for bulbs, wouldn't they? I mean, in fact, our free gift, our lovely narcissus, those gorgeous little narcissus tete-a-tete just poking their heads up out the top of there would be absolutely beautiful, wouldn't it? The yellow and the black together.
And also deep enough to do some lasagna planting as well.
Definitely.
So you could do 2 or 3 layers of bulbs in these and get, you know, those different flowering periods on that as well. And these are UV stable, these are frost resistant, you know, and these are going to last for year after year after year. These aren't, you know, we're in a world, aren't we? We're drowning in plastic, but this is plastic that's good plastic, because these aren't going to be, you know, bobbing up and down in the sea anytime soon. You're going to have these for many, many, many years.
Yeah, UV stabilised, frost resistant. That's what makes these a cut above some of those cheap, nasty plastic pots you can buy out there that don't have that weather resistance to them, that will go brittle and crack and break. 130227 is the item number. It's a buy one, get 2 free. No, it's not buy one, get one. It's buy one, get 2 free. So put one in your basket, enter the code YGTV4224. The other 2 will appear in your basket along with your bag of Narcissus tete-a-tete bulbs as well. The next planter that we've got for you, is it this one, Stu?
You know, just saying about the brittleness of plastic, you know, after a time it's not UV stable. It's funny you say it, because this week I was working in the garden and I went to get some bags of compost, and they'd been sitting in this particular spot in this one garden for about 2 years. And as I went to pick the bags up, they just literally just shattered. Just disintegrated. And I thought, wow, that goes to show you, if you haven't got pots that are UV stable, eventually they will go brittle, and they'll fall apart like terracotta pots do in a bad frost.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, this is why you get that extra weather protection from the pots you buy from us at YouGarden. 130595 is the item number if you want to go for the twin pack of the ebony grey Laval planters, but we've got another double up deal here as well. So you can get 4 of these pots for £19.98. It's £14.98 for the twin pack, but if you add 2 lots into your basket, the second one will be a £5 basically. So they work out £5 each when you do that double up deal. The design on here is so pretty as well, isn't it? Real sort of contemporary design on this.
Really high end, and again, I like the fact that it's not just a flat design, you know, it's textured as well on there, which is absolutely fantastic. fantastic. And I don't know, for some reason for me, I just thought the parrot tulips would look amazing in these.
Agree.
And you can just see the green leaves overhanging the edge, sort of in April, May time, and these beautiful upright flowering stems. But of course, most of the things, in fact, what would the... Oh, that's a bit of wolf kicking in Beck's now.
Yeah, there you go. You can feel it now,
nice.
Can't you?
How about the Bromeliad? Should we try
Yeah,
that
why
in
not?
there? That could look quite good in there, couldn't it? Look at
It
that.
could live in there, and it would live in there for a season or so, wouldn't it?
Easily, yeah. Do you know what? It would probably live in there. It could probably live in there pretty much all its lifetime.
Really?
Yeah, Bromeliads don't need a huge amount of soil, so yeah, that'd be quite happy in there. Or what else have we got? Let's have a quick look down on the floor.
Any of the bulbs? What about the Russian sage? That could go in there.
Yeah,
quite
that would
happily as
work
well,
in
couldn't
there.
it? I think again the bulbs would look beautiful in here.
The yuletide, the Camellia, that would work in there. I mean, a lot of the sort of plants we've got here, you could grow on for a good 2 or 3 years in these pots before they get too big, and then they could be sort of transplanted out into the garden. Or you could do what Bex and I suggest. For instance, if you went for, say, the sarcococca in this pot, there's easy enough space in there as well to put, say, perhaps 10 or 15 of your tate-to-tate free bulbs.
Oh, little bulbs around the edge.
Around the edge
very
as well.
cute, yeah.
So you've got that evergreen shrub, perhaps with a few flowers on it, and then your daffodils coming up around the edge. I mean, really, it's up to you. I mean, you just let your imagination take hold, really. And
I know a few of you have got hold of those because you've sent us pictures. But yeah, maybe you want to get a few more of those. Add to your little family of pots. Now's the time to take advantage of that double up deal. Stu was asking, where's the Aprils? I've got the Aprils, Stu. They're right here. Sorry, my lovely. There we go. So we've got the deal available for you on the April planters as well. It's a pair for £14.99. That's a big saving. That's a 20 quid saving on there right now. So they work at £7.50 each. A really good size. So if you want something a little bit bigger, this is the one we're going to recommend for you. This will be a permanent home for a lot of the things that we're bringing you. You know, the Camellia, the pink elle, the Bromeliad, the sarcococca. You would never need to think about planting them on anywhere else. It could be a permanent home, couldn't it? And I love the square shape. I've got loads of round pots, but sometimes a plant needs a square pot.
Yeah,
like my olive trees, you know, if you've got any of the standard olive trees. And I got the big ones, which come in, you know, terracotta-looking pot, and they're fine in that for the time being. But I was looking at it, and I'm like, they can't go in a round pot. The round shape at the top and the round shape, it doesn't work. I need a square pot
Stay there
for
2 ticks, Carls. I've just seen something. It's not quite the real deal.
Okay, it's the fake plants. Here we go. But we're going to show you.
But kind of it gives you an idea of
yes. Look.
Yeah, look at that. So
that's why, because you've got the round bit at the top, you need the square bit at the bottom.
So immediately I can see what you're getting at.
Absolutely.
I mean, just looking at on the screen there, they just go together so beautifully, don't they?
Love it.
Yeah,
and
beautiful.
I love it. So I really like the colour of this as well, because I think it's going to help to contrast no matter what it is that you plant in here. The abstract kind of dahlia design on there, which again has a nice texture, is really beautiful as well. And the size is just it's perfect.
See, that's amazing, because you saw dahlia. Do you know what I saw when I first saw them?
What did you see?
I saw chrysanthemums.
Oh, yeah.
I can see both.
Yeah,
you can see both, can't you? But I mean, these are really something else, aren't they?
Lovely.
These are blooming gorgeous, these pots.
I know, and they've got the extra reinforcement around the rim there as well. They've got all the drainage you could possibly need. There's the channels for any extra drainage to drain away. I think these are winners totally.
And I'm trying to. I mean, look at my knuckles. I'm trying to deform this pot. I'm really trying to look. I mean, I'm just about. Look at my knuckles. What? Yeah. Even with all my might, I cannot deform these pots. That's how tough these pots are. I've seen some sort of cheaper kind of square pots like this. Once they're filled up with really heavy wet compost, the shape, they bulge, they lose their shape, and they just look. These are definitely not going to lose their shape. But these are beautiful, beautiful pots, really stunning. And you would not know that these aren't a stone kind of pot.
Yeah, could you imagine if they were stone and somebody has sat there chipping out the design?
Yeah, and then the frost comes along in the winter and it just all falls off and looks all chipped and horrible. Again, you're not this problem because frost resistant, obviously UV stabilised as well, so these aren't all going to go all brittle and just all fall apart in a few years. You can have these 20, 30 years, I could imagine.
130573 is the item number. It's a 20-litre capacity, so that gives you an idea of how much compost you're going to need. 36 centimetre diameter and a £10 saving. You will get the pair of them as well. Speaking of compost, compost. Let's do that, shall we? It's been a busy time for us with the old compost lately. I mean, it's the thing that we sell the most of here at YouGarden throughout the year, but we do know that there's always two sort of major points in the year where people stock up on this, where they're using a lot. Springtime and autumn. Now is one of the busy peak times when it comes to getting hold of the compost. And we know how good this is, don't we, everybody? Everybody that watches regularly and shops regularly, you buy this, you use it, and you know why it's so good. But Adam, for new people who are looking at it and going, it's just compost, don't get all crazy about it. Why is this so much better than other compost?
Well, it's so good. I threw it all over myself this morning.
You did.
I'll tell you that story another time. I'm going to avoid that end. Yeah, I mean, this is just phenomenal compost because, first of all, we've been reducing the peat content in our compost for a long, long time. So this is peat reduced. But we've taken peat out, a lot of peat out, but what we put in instead is composted wood fibre. And what that does, it does multiple things. It keeps the compost nice and open. It lets the air get down to the roots. It lets the roots penetrate through the compost, and it lets the water percolate through as well. So we've got great drainage, but also we've got the peat element holding on to that. But we've also got a wetting agent, which makes this compost something called hydrophilic. It likes to absorb the moisture. We've all been in that position where we've used inferior compost and our hanging baskets, our pots, our troughs have dried out. You go to water them, water runs straight off, like water off a duck's back. This has got a wetting agent, so it wants to suck in that water much more quickly. It wants to rehydrate. So if your plants do dry out, you can rescue them really, really quickly. Slow release fertiliser in here as well. The little green balls or tan coloured beads you see in here will feed your plants for up to 6 months. It's pH balanced as well, so it means it's not too acid, it's not too alkaline, so that means, you know, the biggest range of plants can grow in this compost. And essentially it comes in these plain white bags. We don't need to cover the bags in gobbledygook because they come straight from the supplier, straight to you. And as Stu, our producer, always says, the value is in the bag, not on the bag. And when you look at the 5-star reviews, I mean, people do say this compost is you know, more expensive than your average compost, but then when you look at the results that it produces, that's where the genius of this compost kicks in.
And it really does make a difference. As somebody who used to buy the cheapest compost possible because I didn't really pay much attention to it, please take it from me, it makes a big difference. If there's one difference you can make to your gardening ability, it would be which compost you use.
Without doubt.
And yes, Adam is right, it's not the cheapest compost out there, but it is the best. And what we do is we add extra value into this for you. So you get a free gift here. You get it delivered, first of all, free of charge, which is, let's not underestimate that. It's an annoying job having to go and buy compost, and it's heavy, and you get the wonky wheel, and the bag splits, and it's frustrating, isn't it? Not everybody can lift it, not everybody's got a car, so this gets delivered free of charge. There is no postage attached to this. And when you use that code to get the saving, you'll also get your free bag of daffodil bulbs included in there as well. £10 worth. If you took £10 off the cost of the compost, we're now getting to be very competitive with some of the cheaper brands out there, but this is so much better. And I would love you to go and have a little look at the reviews on the website, please. Just go to yougarden.com, look for the item code 100125, and then go and read the reviews. We get reviews every single day happening, and they're always amazing. It's the most 5-star rated product, and this is the compost that we use here at our nursery, at YouGarden. We pot everything up in this compost. All our roses go in this compost. All our pre-made hanging baskets go in this compost. It's our compost of choice.
And sorry, thanks, go on. No, I was going to say, there's one thing we haven't mentioned for a while as well, that you pointed out some time back. You can get this delivered in bulk amounts as well, can't you?
Yeah, for sure.
Like if you want amounts.
Yeah, if you want, you know, commercial quantities, but you know, you've got a big project, a new garden, whatever it might be, you can actually, we can do a deal for you basically. You just need to get in touch with our customer services. It's not open today, unfortunately, on the phone line, but you can get through during the week. If you need a truckload, we can do a deal for you on that one as well.
I mean, just imagine if you just got a new allotment, you know, you've got really coarse soil, you know, a nice deep layer of this over your allotment.
Amazing.
Dig that in for the winter. Wow, that's going to so improve the soil.
It's a great way of getting multiples of your free gift, obviously. If you need 300 litres, do it in 3 separate orders. You'll get 3 bags of your gift. Right, another thing you might want to get hold of right now, and it's another one of our bagged products, so it does have postage included there as well, so no postage to pay. And that might be the bark mulch. It's a good thing to get hold of right now because because it gives your plants a duvet over the winter. Certain plants that might need that extra little bit of winter protection, you can grab hold of this deal, which we've got for you. Who are we going to see? Oh, it's Shawnee Ryan. Have a little listen to Sean.
Doesn't.
Hello, well this is our YouGarden Ornamental Spruce Bark Mulch. It looks gorgeous actually, it's a really, really nice quality, but there are so many uses for this. It's great as a weed suppressant. So if you've got areas in your garden, beds and borders that get lots of weeds, a nice thick layer of this will just suppress those weeds. Also great as a top dressing around pots and containers. That's what I'm going to use it for here. If you've got children's play areas, it makes a nice soft cushion around those play areas, or maybe areas in your garden that you need to walk over. Having this there just makes it a lot safer and a lot easier. So I'm going to use it here. The reason being, I've got the euonymus here, and to be honest, whenever I've tried to plant things around them, they've never done that well. This is just full of roots. It really, really is. So what I'm going to do, because I think it looks, I just don't think it looks very nice. It looks a little bit ugly. I'm just going to do a nice thick layer of this and just see. Oh, see, yeah, this is going to really work. I'll tell you what, because it's autumn as well, I think that's going to look fun. Also, it is a great duvet. If you've got something that's a little bit tender, something like the anigalis that I had growing here in the summer, it's a tender perennial. So if it needs that extra protection from cold weather, then this would be absolutely superb. That looks so good, doesn't it? Really nice. Do you know what I'm amazed about? So I haven't done as thick a layer as you normally would for some other jobs, but it's amazing how far this has actually gone. And some of our regular YouGarden customers have bought several bags of this. It can really just make the whole garden look so much more neater and tidier. So I've just stood back and had a look at this from a distance. And what really struck me as well is that all the green foliage now really stands out. You've got the contrast of the green with the bark mulch, and I think it looks absolutely fantastic. I'm really pleased with that. I really should have done this many, many years ago.
There we go. So we're trying to work out parrot jokes, because that's what's coming up next. But yes, thank you, Sean. There, that was in his pub. So that's the pub garden that he looks after, and he was putting all that bark mulch all over there. Not only does it give them the winter protection that they need, but it looks really pretty, and of course it can help with weeds as well. It can really suppress it. I like what Adam always says about the bark mulch, and that if you've got like deep beds that you need to walk in, you need to get to, the back of. It's great to put down because you don't end up with mud all over the place, do you?
It makes a huge difference. We've just bought this. It sounds grand, and honestly, it's only a tiny bit. We've just bought this extra bit of land to sort of double the size of our garden, and the topsoil in there.
You've got a tiny garden, so it's not massive.
Yeah, it's 150 square metres. That's not vast, but I just cannot walk across that soil at the moment because the mud ends up that deep on the bottom of your boots. Yeah. So you put this between, you don't have that problem, do you?
It's brilliant.
Beautiful stuff.
Do grab hold of that while we've still got the deal available. We're going to move on to one of the bulb offers that should be on the favourites table, but because we've got a 3 for 2 mix and match, we've kept it over here. You bought 3 bags of these?
I did buy 3 bags.
3 bags.
Yeah.
So Adam bought 3. So he took advantage of the buy. What is it? 3 for 2 mix and match. So put whichever 3 bags of bulbs you want into your basket. Enter the code. 1 bag will be free. And I love the fact that it's a mix and match. You don't have to get 3 of the same. You can if you want to, and we would highly recommend it when it comes to the tulip parrot mix, and then maybe get 3 of, the others, so get 6 in total. But you can choose, and that's what I really like about this particular deal that we do. Let's start off with the most popular, and that is the tulip parrot mix. And I still haven't placed my order. I've got to do it. These are beautiful.
Yeah, because I'm going to be really. I'm always really honest. But what used to bug me. And sometimes does bug me, is back in the past when I've done shopping telly, and this is definitely not true of Bex, but when people they go on there and they say, oh yes, I've got these, I'm going to buy these, and you think, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
You just know they're not. It's like, that's just that. But so I thought, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is.
Yeah.
And I bought these, and so I'm going to bring the order in next week and open it live if it arrives in time, because I just saw these the other day, and immediately I thought they are just so beautiful.
They really are.
Just so that's the only word I can use to well, we use more, but I mean, yeah, I think that's the ultimate word to describe these. These are just perfectly beautiful tulips.
Just look at those petals. Look at the mixture of colours, the ruffles. I mean, they're so exciting, aren't they? When you see those come up. I planted so many tulips earlier on this time last year, actually, and obviously they came up in April time, and I loved it. I loved my tulip displays. I had so many, but this would have been a standout in that bunch. It really would have been the knockout variety in all of the tulips.
Yeah, without a doubt, Bex, and they're just so different, and you can understand where the sort of the tulip parrot mix came in as well, because you kind of look at sort of parrots in the wild, and you can just see the
feathers,
the feathers, the colours, the plumage, the kind of the shape of them, and you can see all that reflected in these beautiful, beautiful flowers. I mean, that green and white one is, I just find them beguiling, to be honest. I love the other tulips we brought to you a little while back. Is it the purple
paradise?
Purple paradise. I mean, they are knockout
with the fimbriata edge.
Yeah, and I really adore those. But these are just kind of almost another step up for me, and I'm so glad I've got 3 packs of these coming, because I'm going to buy 3 pots. I'm going to grow them in pots. That's what I want to do. And I've got sort of quite a nice big patio outside our sort of patio doors, and I'm just so looking forward next spring, just seeing these on a beautiful spring day, when the warmth comes back, when the blue skies come back, and just seeing these flowering. It's going to be really exciting.
Well, they're top quality bulbs, first of all. I'm feeling here like there's nothing squishy about these. Really nice firm bulbs that you're getting, so premium quality. Adam's always got to sniff them, and I like this tip actually, because if they smell,
they don't smell.
They're not going to be the best, are they?
No. If they smell damp, mouldy, kind of, in fact, if there's any kind of smell, then don't buy them. And it's weird, because they will say that with fish, don't they? Say if fish smells really fishy, don't buy it, because it means it's not fresh. Yeah. Fresh fish shouldn't smell fishy, and fresh tulip bulbs shouldn't smell mouldy.
Well, those do not, and they're really nice and firm. They're a bag of 20, so if you want to get 3 bags, 1 bag will be free, so you'll be saving a tenner by doing that. But remember, it is part of the mix and match, so maybe you want 1 bag of these and you want to go for 2 other bags of something else. The cheapest bag will be the free one, basically, because I think we've got a mixture of prices here. But that's the Tulip Parrot Mix, 600429. It was an absolute favourite on Thursday. I'm sure we've got plenty of stock, so I don't think we've got any worry of running out today. But do grab hold of those, because obviously we won't keep doing it. Obviously bulb season will stop soon. But it's still the perfect time, and particularly for tulips, because you want to plant those a little bit later than maybe you do other spring flowering bulbs. End of October and into November is the perfect time to be planting your tulip bulbs. Let's move on to Caribbean lily, though, shall we? A firm favourite, again, one that you all made us very jealous of. Thank you, everybody, for all of your pictures. We show Amanda's a lot because she showed us the progression, but that doesn't mean we didn't like all of your other pictures. We loved seeing all of your other pictures, and they all looked like this, didn't they?
They did. Absolutely amazing. I've got 3 packs of these on the way as well. Ordered 3 of these because I finally, I don't want to be alone next year. No. I don't want to be just looking at your pictures. I don't want to be just looking at ones you've grown. I want to be looking at my own, growing in my own garden. I like things that are a little bit unusual. In sort of my garden, I always go for sort of things that are a bit tropical, a bit unusual, a bit...
Yeah, you have a tropical theme in your garden, don't you?
I mean, I walk around most garden centres, and automatically 95% of the plants I won't give a second glance to. And then if there's something that's got a really weird shaped leaf, or it's got an unusual flower, it's got some really weird variegation, that's like, oh, I want that. I'm having that. That's different, and that's what attracted me to these. They were like a bulb or like a flower I've never seen before. They were almost like a cross between an Alium and an agapanthus.
I can see that.
And a kind of.
But short. This is the thing about them, though. So they don't get tall. They're nice and compact. They only get to maybe 30 by 30 centimetres. You get multiple flowers on them. Yeah. They'll come back every year. They're winter hardy. They're tropical looking, and they're so easy as well. This is absolute. We often say the words minimum effort, maximum impact. Yeah. But this truly is it with this, isn't it?
Yeah, because when I first saw these, because again, even I've been gardening for donkey's years, there's always so many new plants coming along, things you've never seen before. And when I did sort of first see these, I thought, oh no, these are going to be one of those greenhouse bulbs. You're going to have to put them in a, grow them under glass and keep the wet off of them, keep the frost away, otherwise all the bulbs are going mushy and stuff. But no, I mean, these have a winter a hardy guarantee, I believe, as well.
I believe so, yeah.
You know, these are easy to grow, and I even love the leaves. Those lovely kind of strappy leaves. They even remind me sort of agapanthus leaves. But I'm just really excited about these, and I just can't wait to get these going and see what they look like next spring.
Me too. I've got my bag at home. Just need to find the time. I've got some time in November. It's fine. I've got loads of time in November because I'm not here as often. So that means I get to spend all my time in the garden, which is wonderful. Can I get 3 Caribbean lilies in a prisma pot? Who's asking that? Ruth. Prisma. Remind me which is the prisma. Is it the pinky ones? Yeah. Do you remember the ones?
Yeah,
the round ones? Yeah, I reckon you can. It'll be nice and full, but yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, definitely for the first year. I mean, if they get too big after a couple of 2 years, you can lift them and divide them and
certainly the first year. It'll be beautiful. Yes, absolutely. Oh, and the thing to remember with these, by the way, is don't plant them as deep as you would other bulbs. So we've got an open bag here. They're nice, chunky bulbs, really good size. They're a bit like an amaryllis bulb, aren't they?
Yeah.
You're never gonna. So we would normally say with bulbs, the general rule is 2 to 3 times the depth of the height of the bulb, which for this. I mean, that'd be 1, 2, that'd be right down here, wouldn't it? But actually, you don't want to with this one. We're just going to go to about here, aren't we? They're sprouting, don't worry about that, but just plant them to about there. They want to be just below the soil surface. So with the sprouts, just go to about there with your compost. That's it. Let's move on. 3 for 2, mix and match. Pick which 3 you want. Put them in your basket. Enter the code. 1 bag will be free. Bluebells. No garden's complete without a bluebell, is it?
Bluebells, just amazing. When you get to sort of May time, April, May time, you see those huge woodlands covered in English bluebells. It is one of the most beautiful natural scenes in the world, I would say. And we're really, really blessed in the UK because I think it's the UK, parts of France and Spain, we're about the only parts of the world that have these amazing bluebell displays. But you can bring these into your own garden now. These are English bluebells as well. And it's so important to grow the English bluebells because, unfortunately, in some areas, the Spanish bluebells are kind of taking over.
Yeah, they're a bit too vigorous, aren't they?
Yeah, and they're crossbreeding with our native bluebells, and they're ending up not being the classic English bluebell. So these are guaranteed to be the classic English bluebell with those nodding heads, with that lovely sweet fragrance, with that lovely purpley sort of colour that attract all the pollinating insects. They come up year after year after year. They spread. They're bone hardy. They're as tough as old boots. Totally undemanding. The only one thing they will ask of you is wherever you plant them, they like to have sort of an overstory of foliage once they're finished flowering. So that's why you always see them growing in woodland, because they like to be under the canopy of trees once they're finished flowering. And sometimes you might think, well, yeah, but I've seen them growing out on really huge areas, sort of out on moorland and places like that. Again, they thrive there because after they're finished flowering, the bracken comes up. And that kind of shelters them as well. So think about growing these in your garden as an understory bulb. So plant these underneath other shrubs. Plant them at the base of, say, a conifer hedge or somewhere like that. Somewhere, once they're finished flowering, they've got that sort of little bit of protection from the winter sun over the top. Then they'll die down, they'll stay moist, and they'll just come back year after year after year.
Lovely.
But really easy to grow. Plant them, leave them, and enjoy them for a lifetime. So
it's a bag of 20 bulbs that you get there. You might want 3 bags of 20. You might just want 1 bag of 20 to mix and match with a couple of other bags. The choice is yours. 600278 is the item number if you'd like to add some bluebells into your garden. Next one's a bit weird and wonderful. Needs a little bit of extra protection, this one, but this is the this is the Oxalis, the versicolor. Steve's saying, don't talk about Adam like that. He's funny today.
I don't mind being. I'd quite like to be weird and wonderful.
Whenever I say something's weird and wonderful, it is the biggest compliment. Like I know it doesn't sound like it, but I'm genuinely, that's a compliment when it comes out of my mouth.
It's nice to be a bit Willy Wonka, isn't it? Kind of, just
absolutely.
not, a bit different.
It means you're not boring.
No, absolutely. Try not to be. But you won't be boring. You say I'm not boring, am I?
You're not boring.
No, these Oxalis are really nice. You know these in your garden. Really colourful. But no, seriously, these are knockout. We did mention a moment ago when I looked at the Caribbean lilies, I was saying to you, they look like something that might need a little protection in the winter time. These do, but they're worth the effort.
Yeah, definitely.
When you think of Oxalis sometimes, or Oxalis, you might think of the ones that have got the shamrock kind of clover type leaves.
Yeah.
These have even got a different coloured leaf. But I mean, look at these. I mean, the really sort of unusual feathery leaf. I said to Bex the other day, when these are first starting to open the buds, they remind me of those old-fashioned things you used to have outside barber shops that used to kind of whiz round. And also remind me of raspberry ripple ice cream. They're kind of quite evocative flowers, really. But yeah, grow these in a pot. Give them some winter protection. Basically, make sure the bulbs don't freeze or the compost doesn't freeze, and just enjoy these really weird, unusual, different flowers. They'll come back year after year after year. They'll kind of spread because anything in the Oxalis family really do spread like crazy. But of course, if they're in a pot, doesn't matter because they'll just fill the pot, give you that fantastic display. You can leave them outside all through the summer thereafter. Just keep them moist. They'll sort of die down eventually. And then, yeah, just enjoy them year after year.
Lovely. Really nice and compact. They don't get massive either. 630043 is the item number. There's 10 bulbs in each of those packs. And again, it's in the mix and match. So choose which 3 you're going to go for. And one of those bags will be absolutely free. Oh, I'm on that camera, aren't I? Do you know, I just saw that camera moving and I was like, it can't be on me. Hello, you're there. Are you all right? All right, let's move on now then. We've got, oh, sorry, we need to go back to the parrot mix because that is the most popular one. 600429. I mean, of course it's the most popular. Look at that beautiful colour combination, the way they're ruffled. Oh, I mean, just get those in your basket, please. I know I've said it before, but I am going to place my order. I promise I will get my order in for those because those are so, so pretty. Right, let's bring you on to bare roots. We're into our bare root season now, and this is the bowl of beauty. Now, when you receive it, it doesn't look very beautiful. It looks like a dead twig. It looks like a muddy twig, but I want you to draw your attention to that there.
That one looks like messy.
And there's another one here, in actual fact. In fact, there's probably more of them, but that little bud there, that's what's going to grow up out of the ground and turn into this absolute gorgeous beauty here. Now, in the bag, you're going to get 3 bare roots. It's important to do something with these fairly soon. Unlike bulbs that you can leave sat in a bag on a side somewhere for a while, these do need planting out. They come to you in a bag of compost. It's slightly moist in there, and they do need planting out before they dry out. So get these in the ground. But bare root season is upon us. It's the perfect time, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Bex, bare root season starts in, well, depending on sort of the climatic conditions, normally the end of September, go all the way through to the end of March. And traditionally, this time of year was the start of the gardening year. We often think of it as being the end of the gardening year, but go back in Victorian Edwardian times, gardening times, we didn't have all the technologies that we've got now to bring plants all the way through the year at different times, and bare root was just a great way of creating lots and lots of plants very easily, very cheaply, but very successfully, because the plants have gone dormant. They don't know that you've dug them up out the ground. I mean, if you was to dig up a peony in the middle of June and then divide the root up and then try and transplant it, it would really show off. It'd just totally stress it out. It probably wouldn't survive.
Yeah, it doesn't like it, does it?
It wouldn't like it. But this time of year, the foliage has died down, the roots have become dormant, so you can plant these direct into the garden if you want. Now, a couple of things I'd say, if you're going to plant them direct into the garden, just put a little bamboo cane or a marker next to where you plant them so you remember where they are come next spring. Or another option, and I'd probably go for this option, but it's up to you, I would probably put these into a pot. Any old pot will do, with some of our brilliant compost. Grow them on through till probably about end of May, June next year, till the leaves come up. Tap them out. Once you've got a really nice kind of root system like we showed, once you've got a little rooty beauty, then I would transplant them into the garden. But
yeah, and you're going to get so many flowers off this once it gets established. First year you'll get a few, but it does take a little bit of time to establish, so don't be disappointed if you only get a couple of flowers next year. It is about planting for the future here. It's about making sure that in all of those subsequent years you're going to get multiples of those flowers, and you really will. It is the bowl of beauty. It is absolutely stunning. It's a bag of 3 bare roots, but it is on the buy one get one absolutely free here as well. So put 2 into your basket. You'll get one of them free as long as you enter the code. Oh no, sorry, it's buy one, get one. So you only put one in your basket with this particular deal. Put one in your basket, enter the code. The other bag will appear in your basket absolutely free of charge. You might not want 6, and that's absolutely fine, but it's a freebie. Take it, give it to a friend. You'll know somebody who wants them in your garden. But if you've got the space for it, those will be amazing. 580006 is the item number.
And they live for donkey's years, don't they?
They do,
peonies?
they're such long-lived.
50, 60, 70 years for a peony is not unprecedented.
Great for cut flowers as well. In fact, getting 6 of those, because then you can plant some. You've got enough to do cut flowers with as well, haven't you?
Well, yeah, because if you wanted to, you could say like grow the extra pack out the way somewhere on your allotment or in your kitchen garden. Because then it doesn't matter if you cut the flowers off, you don't see the foliage, do you?
Need it, yeah.
So have some growing in the garden, looking stunning. Have some in a vase. They're seriously expensive peonies as cut flowers as well, aren't they? Yeah.
There was a cobweb and I thought I'd move it out of the way because Adam hates spiders. Sorry.
Yeah. Well,
spiders.
Joe, I know for a fact there's probably some real big beefy ones in here as well.
For a gardener, right, who's Adam is hilarious. Really don't like spiders, do you?
I can't stand them.
I mean, I'm not a fan.
I can cope with little diddy ones.
He really doesn't like them.
But no.
Like he freaks out.
I can't.
He's like, ah!
Yeah, they're just, my nemesis.
All right, we're back onto our favourite stable. We're going to run through all of the favourites we've got for you. Just a quick one in the chat. So, Ruth, yes, we think 3 Caribbean lilies in the green prismaplots.
We know what you mean.
3 Caribbean lilies in the Prisma pots will be fine.
Red lorry, yellow lorry.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. She says, thanks, guys. I bought loads of the green Prisma pots when they were on offer a good while ago. Well done. You see, that's exactly what we said. Get the pots while they're on offer. You'll find something to do with them. You've got the purple and the pink ones too. You've got the whole family. Neil's ordered the candy canes. Got some last year and loved them. Brilliant. Well done.
Oh, any pics? Got any pics?
Oh, yeah. Did you do any pictures? It'd be lovely to see them. Amanda apparently has just been telling us about the bluebells, so we'd like some pictures of bluebells as well. If you can, of course, if you've got them. Dingo's been in the emails. Morning, Bex and Adam, just to pick up my Caribbean lilies shooting. Cheers, Dingo.
Whoa.
They are shooting now as well, and I can tell it's now because of the colour of your acer.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're getting a shift on, aren't they?
They are getting a bit of a shift on.
Whoa.
We kind of need them to stop getting a shift on because they're not supposed to be doing anything until next year.
But the good thing is...
They're looking good, though.
Next year I don't have to keep looking at other people's pictures.
Yeah!
I can just step outside my patio doors.
As long as I actually plant mine, I have to get them... I've got them. I've got the bag at home. I just need to plant them.
And what's the other things you got ordered, Bex?
The tulip, parrot tulips.
Yeah, I'm going to go on at you like a parrot.
Buy the tulips. Buy the tulips. I will. I always say that and then I forget. Anyway, I'll do it. Right, let's move on. Favourite stable, clematis. This got promoted. And, it's apparently been very popular this morning as well. Fragrant clematis, evergreen, compact, no pruning. Like, what more can we say about this?
No, you don't have those things on a clematis.
Don't you?
No.
You don't normally, do you?
No, I can think
of.
Because normally clematis, you've got to get a sort of a great big manual out.
Yeah. You've got to know when to prune
87 different ways to prune a clematis. None of them have got any fragrance.
No.
They all just take over and make a complete mess. No, they don't. This one, not this one. This one is beautiful. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? Modern breeding and the things we can do with plants now, because even if you're Mandy and you live 5 floors up and you've just got a balcony, you can still grow clematis because
Amazing.
This only gets about 1.2 to 2 metres tall. Absolutely perfect for one of our tower pots. If you've got a tower pot already, or if you haven't, get yourself a tower pot because a pair of these opposite size in a tower pot within a couple of 2 or 3 years, you are going to have that permanent evergreen spire of leaves, which is great because even in the winter time you've got something to look at, and the leaves are really pretty actually. They're quite shiny, they've got a real nice lustre to them, and they're really quite thick because sometimes clematis leaves are a bit thin, aren't they? These actually feel almost a bit cardboardy. They're really nice sort of thick leaves on there. Lovely little growing habit, but then of course it flowers. And the flowers are fragrant, which is, I can only think of one other clematis that's got fragrant flowers, which is Clematis armandii. It has a vanilla kind of fragrance to it. I don't know what the actual type of fragrance is on these, but I know it's a sweet fragrance. And look at the flowers there. You've got that lovely green centre to that flower, that limey green centre. And then these beautiful, beautiful flowers. Only, as I say, only gets about 1 metre, 1.5 metres, 2 metres tall max. And pruning, really, you could leave this for 3 or 4 years. It doesn't need any pruning at all because it's nice and slow growing. But eventually, if you had the plant for 4 or 5 years and you thought it was getting a bit leggy, a bit scruffy, one spring you can take it down to about 15, 20 centimetres, then it will grow back really, really well. And all it asks of you to produce all this amazing performance that it's going to give you is it likes to have its roots somewhere cool. So if you're growing it in a tower pot, for example, put the tower pot perhaps in between other perennials so it shelters the base of the pot, or put other pots around it and liquid feed it regularly with our blooming fast, for example, or something like that, because they're hungry plants. Do that, and year after year after year you can end up with a clematis that flowers, that's fragrant, that doesn't need pruning, that's compact and just easy and simple to grow.
And we have a double up deal available here, so it's one for £12.99, but if you add 2 into your basket and put the code in, the second one will be £1. That's right, isn't it? Yeah, £13.99 for both of them. Seriously, the second one is just £1 when you put it in your basket and you enter the code, which is phenomenal. We can have a little look at the roots. You can see the roots poking out the bottom of that pot.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
It's really nice and rooty.
Yeah.
Look at this.
It's got dark roots, so hopefully you'll be able to still...
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Look.
At that. Yeah, you can see a brilliant root system on there.
Amazing. So that's going to romp away, or it's certainly going to get itself established over the winter time and then romp away for you from the springtime next year. Let's move on though. We've got the perovskia, the Russian sage. So another amazing price here at just £4.99. It's a half price deal for you. And this one is a fantastic alternative, you were saying, to something like lavender, because you get a longer flowering, but it'll still live in the same place.
You do, yeah. In fact, I was thinking actually, if you was a Russian agent, you could be agent perovskia.
I love that.
I think that would quite suit you, actually.
I could totally be that.
But this, first of all,
Perovskia.
yeah, agent perovskia. I can just imagine it. Now, gorgeous, gorgeous, fragrant foliage on these. That's what we were saying. This is if you've had a lavender hedge for years, and lavender is gorgeous as a hedge, but you want something a bit different, grow a row of these because they've got fragrant foliage and fragrant flowers as well, to the touch, not necessarily as a fragrance that comes out of you, but flower like lavender, the same sort of colour, but a real long flowering period on these. These flower for a good 4 months, good 3 or 4 months easily. In fact, I've got some customers who've still got a few little purple flowers just left on these, and you've got that lovely sort of silvery green, or what they call glaucous blue foliage. These plants are ridiculously hardy. They easily go down to -20, -25 degrees. It's a ridiculously drought-tolerant plant as well. Grows in really poor soil, not fussed at all about soil, providing it's not too wet. So they'll grow in really dry, gravelly, stony, sandy soils. Beautiful pot plant there as well. And all you need to do with this is, in the springtime, late winter, very early spring, just cut the shrub down or the plant down to about 5 or 6 inches tall. The stems you've cut down will reshoot, but also year on year it will send out fresh shoots as well, and eventually you'll just get this incredibly beautiful thicket of purple flowers and aromatic foliage.
Love it, nice and easy, and excuse me, beautiful displays there. 511497 is the item number. It's a half price deal. We've taken £5 off. It's just £4.99. Use the code to get the saving. You'll get your free gift included in there as well, which is the Narcissus tete-a-tete bulbs, worth £9.99. So if you just want to do a little spend today, you don't want to spend a fortune, but you fancy treating yourself, £4.99 for that. You will pay postage, but you'll get your free gift included in there as well. Good morning, Eleanor. It doesn't matter that you're late. Thank you so much for coming to join us anyway. I appreciate you being here. Let us know what you've been up to in the garden. Join the chat now you're here. Let's move on to the Philadelphus, the mock orange, the virginal.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a shrub that's really going to give big impact, you're looking for a shrub to fill a big space. So, for example, you might have a rectangular garden and where 2 borders meet in the corner. You want to fill that corner with some drama, with something that's going to give a real good spectacle. This will do it. Philadelphus virginal. This is a long-lived shrub, 20, 30, 40 years, no problem at all. Really not fussed about soil. It will grow on clay soils, it will grow on sandy soils, it will grow on heavy soils. Not particularly fussed about what position it's in, as long as it's not deep shade. But what it will do every year for a good 4 to 6 weeks is just be smothered in these pure white double flowers with a super sweet fragrance that is absolutely knockout. That's going to attract the pollinating insects. And you don't have to do anything with this shrub if you don't want to. I'm just thinking back to various customers of mine that have got this growing in their garden, and in most places we've just left the plant to do what it wants to do, to fill the space. But if at any time you feel it gets too big, all you got to do is immediately after it's finished flowering, prune it down to the height you want it to be, and the new growth it makes between then and the rest of the summer will then give you your flowering wood for the following year. But it really is one of these shrubs that you plant, you leave, and you just enjoy year after year after year with minimum input.
And it's a better than half price deal if you're in the club. It's just £7.19. We've taken £7 off that price. If you've got any of your vouchers to spend, you know, when you join the club, you get your £20 vouchers. And I know loads of people that watch YGTV have just got their vouchers because it's been just over a year that we've been broadcasting.
So will I be getting them then?
Yeah.
Because I joined the club.
You joined right. You can start saving on your first order. So you placed an order this week.
Yeah, day before yesterday I think I ordered.
Lovely. So it'll be coming out into the post to you. So you can save your 10% on your first order, which is what you did.
Which I've done, yeah.
Now coming out into the post to you will be an envelope with a letter in it from our head gardener, Peter McDermott. So you'll get a lovely letter from him. It'll be your welcome pack, and in there will be your vouchers. And then once you've received those, you can start spending them.
Happy days.
Now,
Wow.
I'll tell you a secret. The vouchers have dates on them. It's 4 £5 vouchers, £20 in total. I'm not shushing. I'm going to tell them, Stu. You shush. So they do have dates on them, because what we try and do is spread out the spend. So it says one to be spent every 3 months. But the secret is you don't actually have to wait. You can spend them all whenever you want to spend them. They just have to be on separate orders. You can't use all 4 in one order. So on 4 orders, if you want to place 4 orders in a day, you could use all 4 of those vouchers basically in one day. It's entirely up to you.
So what you could do then is do your little secret of ordering 4 lots of compost.
Get 4 free gifts.
Get 4 free gifts.
Do it in separate orders.
And use your voucher each time.
And use your vouchers each time as well.
Oh, we need to work that out. We need to put that up on the screen, because that's almost getting something for nothing, isn't it? Pretty much.
Yeah.
So by the time you
take your free gift off there and your £5 off there, that compost is now a great deal.
I know. Yeah. Well. Liking it.
There we go. All right, let's move on. Last 2 items on our favourites table. This is the Escallonia, the pink elle, gorgeous evergreen, easy, just one of those workhorses that you'd put in a border that you wouldn't have to think too much about at all, but it's going to delight you every year.
Easy. I'm just going to put a request into my hubby at home. If you're watching, John, can you just? I know I should have done it, but could you take a picture of your one in the front garden and send it in to Stu, please?
Send it in. I've got the emails.
Yeah,
I'll be looking for it.
We've been growing this. John's been growing this in the front garden for the last couple of years. We got one for John's mum, Jenny, down in Kent, Jenny and Gerald, and just such stunning shrubs. I mean, easy to grow, evergreen. That's a bit of a common theme today, but we love the evergreen thing because, you know, you were kind of saying, Bex, that this time of year, when all your herbaceous perennials start to die down, suddenly you realise where all the gaps are, and you think, I just don't want to look at gaps for the rest of the winter. A shrub like this with its evergreen foliage keeps providing that interest, and then of course come the spring it explodes with these wonderful conical heads of pink blossom that last a long time, and it's not just all in one go and then over. They keep sort of flowering over a period of time.
Well, if you deadhead as well, that'll help to encourage even more coming through, won't it?
And then it does this sort of strange thing, a bit like, for instance, the other week we were talking about the Mexican orange, the choisia. This has a similar habit that thereafter, through the summer or even into autumn, occasionally it throws out more flowers now and again as well. So, you know, it'll flower sporadically the rest of the time, but it only gets to about 1 metre tall eventually. It's got a nice sort of conical, compact shape to it, and it's just a stunningly easy shrub that, for minimum input, again, just gives years and years of beauty and joy and interest. Great
price as well. We've taken £5 off, so £9.99 to get a really well-established plant in that 2-litre pot. Just £8.99 if you're in the club as well. I want to say good morning to Louise, who is watching with her mum Sandy. Good morning. Thank you very much for your company. Quick question from Grimmy: is the mock orange evergreen?
No. The Philadelphus. No, it's not evergreen, but it does have the most wonderful yellow leaves before they drop. So yeah, really gorgeous buttery yellow leaves, but no, it's not evergreen.
Thank you very much. Yeah, if you've got any questions, of course, the YouTube chat is the place, or Facebook if you're watching on there. Stu keeps an eye on that, and He lets us know what's going on in there. And of course, there is the email address at the bottom of the screen there, ygtv@yougarden.com. I'll keep an eye and see if John sends in a picture of the Escallonia. I'll keep an eye out. Right, let's move on to the final one on the favourites table, which is the Camellia Yuletide. I'm in love with this one. Yeah, I think it's. I wish I had space because I would.
I've got this one.
I would go for a couple of these and have them either side of the door, but I'm going to have to just hold back a little bit, I think. But yeah, I really like the idea of this because first of all it's evergreen, but I love the idea of this being a festive plant. It's Yuletide because it flowers over Christmas, and the combination between this and it's a beautiful shade of green as well. It's got this little sort of serrated edges to the leaves, which is really interesting.
Almost a bit like holly leaves, aren't they? Kind of the edge
not
of those.
Sharp.
No, oh no, not
just
spiteful.
Slight serration.
Yeah,
there, look, you can see it on the edge of that leaf there. It just adds that extra bit of interest when you're looking at it. But it's the red of the flowers and that yellow centre. It's just a perfect festive combination.
It is, and that's the weird thing about it, because if this flowered in midsummer, you could almost kind of lose the attraction or lose its beauty because so much else is going on.
Yeah.
It's the fact that it's got the audacity and the cheek and the nerve to put out such beautiful flowers in the midst of the gloomiest, darkest, sort of chilliest time of year. And when you step outside in December or January and you see this shrub with its lovely glossy evergreen leaves smothered in these beautiful single flowers with those with those gorgeous yellow stamens, it really is knockout. And I've got this in my garden, and originally I bought it 3 years ago, and I walked into a garden centre, I think when we was off for Christmas, and I walked into a garden and I saw it and I thought, I've got to have one of them, I want that. and it was a lot more money than this, I'll tell you. And it flowered really well the first year. Second year, I didn't have any flowers, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And then I moved it, and I put it somewhere else in the garden, and this year, I went out the other day, I gave up counting in the end. I've got about 30, 40, 50 buds coming on this. So this Christmas into early next year, it's going to look stunning. The mistake I made in the second year, and just is one thing to point out about camellias, mid to late summer, always make sure you keep your camellias, your rhododendrons, things like that, really, really well watered, and use rainwater if you can, because that is the time of year they start to form their buds to flower during the winter, and if they get drought stricken that time of year, they will abort the flower buds, so you'll miss your flowers. So yeah, always if you've got them in pots or anything like that, from probably about June to August, make sure they're always really, really moist. That way these flower buds will be set, and they'll start to do what Bex is about to show you now, producing that beautiful colour.
Well, I was just taking this stem here just as an example. Now there's some really nice fat buds that you can easily see on here, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 really nice fat buds that you can see. But what I want to point out is, as I'm working my way up this stem, almost every single leaf axil, so here look, in there look, can you see there's more buds appearing there? And I can see so many of those. So it's very obvious to see the big fat ones here, but there are buds there's another tiny one there, look. Just appearing, and you can see them all the way along the stem. So if I was to count the ones on this stem, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I mean 16 just on that one stem there that I can count.
So just imagine that on a winter's day.
I mean, imagine how many of those you're going to get on the plant that you receive by placing your order today. 510818 is the item number for the Camellia Yuletide. It's in the 15cm pot. It's a really nicely established plant, and I think you'll be so happy with the amount of flowers that you get on there. Just make sure you've got that ericaceous compost to plant it in. YGTV4224 is the offer code. You must put that in to get the saving. Otherwise, you're going to pay $34.99, which you would pay for that quite happily, but that's not why you're here. You're here to get the best deals possible, and that's what you will get by using that code. Let's give you a little reminder of some of the items. Get your pen and paper if you want to make a little list. If you're, thinking, oh, you've tickled my fancy, I'm going to put an order in. Here's the time. Get your list going. 600429 is the item number for the Tulip Parrot Mixed. This is the one that Adam has placed an order for. This is the one that I promise you I will be placing an order for. Adam got 3 bags of of this. Now it is in the 3 for 2 mix and match, so you could get 3 of the same, absolutely, 1 bag will be free. But if you want to mix and match it with the other bulbs that we've got, you can do, that's not a problem. The cheapest bag will be absolutely free. The most stunning of the tulips. Honestly, I've fallen in love with this one. Can't wait to grow these. 600429 if you'd like to get hold of yours. The Scilla peruviana might be another one of the bulbs that you want to get. I think, again, Adam, did you get 3 of these?
3.
Yeah, 3 of these as well. So one of those bags will be free, but again, it's a mix and match, so you choose. You go on such a journey with this particular plant, you know. The bud, when it opens up, and then the flowers opening in succession from the out in. It's not like, boom, the flower's there, that's nice. No, you get to go out every day over a period of numerous days to see the progression, and that's what I really love about this particular one. 630045 is the item number. Only 3 bulbs, but they are big, so don't be put off by that. Definitely worth it. Peony is another one we got for you. So we're in bare root season now, anytime from sort of September, October time. It's the best way to get the best value for money, really. It's kind of the gardener's secret, is to get bare roots. So you plant it looks like a muddy twig, I'm not going to lie, but it is going to turn into this absolutely gorgeous peony flower. I think it really is a stunning one as well. You get those cup-shaped blooms. They can get about 8 inches in diameter. The beautiful ruffled yellow in the centre as well, just really highlighting the beauty of that particular peony. 580006 is the item number, and it's a buy one get one free. Put one in your basket, enter the code, you'll get another bag absolutely free. Clematis on our favourites table. So evergreen, compact, fragrant, barely any pruning. I mean, those are some definite reasons to go for this clematis over and above other varieties. A lot of clematis just get too big, too tall. They disappear over the other side of the fence into the neighbour's garden. You shouldn't have that problem with this because it stays nice and compact. The fragrance is beautiful and it's nice and easy to look after too. Double up deal available. One is £12.99. Second one, if you put it in your basket and enter the code, it's just £1. Amazing! 2 of those for £13.99. 550101 is your item number. You need to go to yougarden.com to place your orders, by the way. Oh, so from earlier on, we had the Bromeliad, the fasicularia bicolour. It's a hardy plant. It's a lovely kind of grass-looking plant. A bit more sort of spiky, let's say. Not sharp, but just spikier looking than other grasses you can get. But the wonderful thing here is that you get an amazingly unique and stunning flower. Exotic, yeah, this beautiful, bright blue, like electric blue colour in the centre. And then those red stripes just coming out. And look at that, I like those lime greeny bits. If you get those as well, that's incredible.
Ordered that as well.
Adam's ordered that one as well. He used to have it in his old garden and he missed it, so he's bought another one today. I can see why. 560100 is the item number. It's totally hardy. It just needs to be free draining soil and in a nice sunny position. Definitely add a bit of the exotic and, you know, exotic holiday feel into your garden. Next is the delphinium for you. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, but why am I planting delphiniums now? They're not going to flower till next year. But this is what gardening's all about, isn't it? It's about planning for the future, and that's what you can do here at YouGarden. We bring you perennials. Now is the time to get them in the ground. It's going to concentrate on getting its roots down, and then next year you'll get beautiful flowers like this. 511552 is the item number. It's well established already in that 2-litre pot, and it's only £4.99. This is why it's a great time of year to shop for these things, because this is where you will get your bargains. Next we have, oh, the sarcococca, the winter gem, one of my faves here. Something that I found before I was really into gardening. You know, I kind of liked being in my garden, but before I really found the joy, I found this when I was out on a walk. I could smell something on the air, and it was the most sweet, gorgeous, vanilla-y smell. I was absolutely mesmerised, and I hunted it down, found it, took a picture, sent it to my mum. Mum, what's this? I want it. What is it? Mum's a really good gardener, bless her, so she'll probably remember me doing this, sending her a picture, and she's like, oh, I think it's called something like Christmas box. So I hunted it down, and this was exactly the plant. I now have it in my garden. It is the winter gem. It's evergreen. It can cope in a shady spot, not fussed on soil type, winter flowers, but the fragrance you get from it is incredible. Nice and compact, doesn't bully either, so it's a great border plant or one to put in a pot so that you can put it somewhere where you're going to really appreciate that fragrance over winter. 510563 is the item number. And we just saw it. It is that Camellia Yuletide. I really want you to get this if you can, because the amount of flowers on here, the amount of buds I can see coming through on this plant that we've got in the potting sheds, I think you'll be blown away with how quickly that's going to come into bud and into colour for you. It's evergreen, it's gorgeous, it flowers in winter time. Those yellow stamen in the middle there really do set the flower off as well. Just make sure you've got some ericaceous compost to go with this, because it is an acid-loving plant. 510818 is the item number, and you are saving £15 on that one today. But only if you put the code in, because that is what unlocks all of the deals, but also puts into your basket the free gift that we have. I mean, we've kept this going since we first started these shows on YGTV. Something, added value, free gift in every single week that we've been here. And I love that we're doing this one this year, because we don't need to. I mean, we do it because we love you, basically, and we like the fact that you're here every single week, and it is true, honestly. But it's the perfect time for us to actually make money on this right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because this is the sort of thing that people are buying right now.
And the good thing about these, you know, they are really decent-sized bulbs.
Good size.
Sometimes when people, you know, give stuff away, it's gone past its best. You know, they're little squidgy little bulbs. These are super
Solid.
healthy, really good-sized bulbs. And we
No
always
smell.
say, you know, when you plant a bulb, you plant a promise, because inside every bulb, there's already a little embryonic flower just waiting for you to pop it in the ground and let it grow.
Yeah, I can't wait to grow. I have no daffodils in my garden.
Really?
I have no daffodils in my garden. None.
Whoa.
But I'm going to be planting some daffodils. I've got a bag of tete-a-tetes and I will be planting them.
No, I've got daffodils. I've got daffodils. Loads.
Yeah, I should have daffodils. What's wrong with me, right?
I've got loads of tete-a-tetes because, yeah, actually, well, kind of hope they're not watching, but I did kind of buy loads for a customer last year. I went to a garden centre and there was loads in those little 9-centimetre pots.
Yeah.
And I got a few extra trays.
Did you?
But they didn't make it to their garden.
That's so naughty.
Yeah.
They're happy. They're happy.
Yeah.
That's all that
and
matters.
they've still got a bit of a discount. So.
Good morning, everybody. Apparently we've got loads of you watching right now, so thank you so much. It's a wonderful way to spend a Sunday morning if you've not got anything else going on. You know, we love talking about gardening. We love our little community that we've built here. We have so many people that tune in regularly, and we keep getting new viewers all the time because we keep getting new club members constantly joining as well. So we know there's new people out there. So thank you so much for spending your time with us. We're here every single Sunday from 9:30 till 12:30 are our hours at the moment. We're also here on a Thursday morning as well from 10 until 1 o'clock. We also do some shows on TikTok. So if you're on social media and you're on TikTok, then we do shows on Tuesday afternoon, Thursday afternoon and Sunday afternoon as well. We'll be there this afternoon. If you're not on TikTok, it's very much like Facebook and Instagram. You just download the app, find YouGarden, you'll find us there. It's really nice and interactive. There's loads of stuff on there. It's a little bit different. If you like this, stick with this. But it'd be nice to have your company on there as well.
It's going to be my first.
It's going to be your first, isn't it?
First. I've not done a TikTok show before, so yeah.
I know Amanda's going to cut. I know because I did a TikTok live from my house yesterday, and hello Amanda, she was in there chatting. So I think she's going to come and join us this afternoon. So you will have some familiar people on there as well.
I'm in your hands.
It's fine. I got big hands. Right, let's move on, shall we? We're going to talk about the one next to you, the hardy pomegranate bush. And it is a hardy plant, this. I would probably give it a little bit of winter protection the first year. I pulled that off. I pulled the flower off the other day. Did you pull the pomegranate off?
Well, I just went to lift it up to
Adam.
To show, and I'm not having a good day today, am I? I came in, I broke the compost
Did
display.
he break the compost table?
Yeah, and now I've broken the pomegranate.
Never mind.
The only one ornamental pomegranate.
Look, it will make absolutely real pomegranates. I wouldn't suggest eating them. They're not edible, but you could cut them in half and maybe put them in, you know, as a display in your drink or something or other. But the point about this is it's a beautiful ornamental shrub that creates the most beautiful flowers. I mean, they're kind of this bright orange, almost luminous, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, when we say orange, we're talking seriously orange as well.
Yeah.
Really
waxy.
Yeah, waxy, tubular, stunning, bright orange flowers, and then they develop into these ornamental fruit, almost got a bit of almost like a sort of a Christmas decoration kind of feel to them, really. And it's, we give this, we say pomegranate, we give this our winter hardy logo as well. So this is a shrub that will sort of get through a British winter. Having said that, I would always plant this in the sunniest, most sheltered, well-drained position you can in your garden. I've seen these in my customers' gardens, not that often, I'll be honest with you, but I can think of one in a garden in Thetford, and it's about a metre tall and a metre wide. So it's obviously been there quite a number of years. And it's a really, really happy plant, doing really, really well, thriving, loads and loads of these orange flowers. It's just one thing I can't remember. Is it evergreen or not evergreen? I think
it is evergreen, yes.
It is evergreen,
it is.
Yeah. So again, you've got that evergreen foliage. I think what I'm throwing myself with here, it is evergreen, although sometimes in a really, really cold winter, it might shed some of the leaves, but predominantly it's evergreen, which has been a theme that's been running through a lot of the shrubs we brought you today. So if you want something different, something unusual, a talking point, if you want to be able to say to somebody, I'm growing a pomegranate in my back garden, and they're like, no, you're not. You can't grow pomegranates in the UK.
Yeah, I can.
I can, and I am, and this is it. So yeah, try this. Knockout, really different, really unusual.
It is beautiful. I love the fact that you can produce your own pomegranates on it, and it'll be a talking point, won't it? And even if it's not about the pomegranates, the flowers are really incredible.
Well,
bright orange colour, lovely waxy texture, and of course every single one of them has the opportunity to then turn into that pomegranate as well.
And it's really, it's a really waxy, kind of really dense, sort of strong flower on there as well, Bex. Really, really unusual. I love it, absolutely love it.
Yeah, I do too. It does have the winter hardy stamp on there. I would suggest maybe just giving it a little bit of extra winter protection, certainly in its first year.
Yeah.
It's nicely established, but I would maybe just give it a little bit of extra winter protection.
And I would say if we could have a real vicious cold spot, sometimes occasionally we get down to a -10 or something, don't we? I'd just put some garden fleece over it, horticultural fleece, just to get it through the worst.
Let's take you on Hibiscus marina. I've got this one. I love this one. I love the colour combination of the flowers that you get here. The reason I love hibiscus so much is it's a great transitional plant. It's one that keeps flowering into September and October time, when a lot of summer stuff have given up.
Yeah, it's almost like the lilacs of the autumn, really.
Yeah.
It's right at the end of the summer when most of the other shrubs have finished flowering and doing their thing. This, from August through to September, possibly even into October, will flower for you.
There's mine.
And if we're talking about hardiness, these go down to about -20.
Important to point out, because there are hibiscus varieties that are tender, that need that extra winter protection, but this doesn't need it. It is hardy. That's the one I planted last year.
Isn't that beautiful?
It's late coming into leaf. Do bear this in mind. It can be right up until May before you see any leaves coming on it. And you might think, oh, it's died, but don't worry, it's just a little bit later coming into leaf. And the flowers are incredible, very exotic looking, but doesn't require that extra winter protection.
The blueness of that.
I know,
as well.
I love that colour combo.
Blue colour.
That's why I went for this one over. I mean, there's loads of hibiscus varieties, but that colour really speaks to me.
And it's got that like hollyhock kind of centre to it as well. And the fact that you're going to get this colour very late in the season, and each flower only lasts a day, but don't be put off by that, because day after day after day they just keep putting out more flowers. So it's not like this is over in a week or two. These flower for a good 3 or 4 weeks. Nice upright shrub as well, nice sort of goblet shaped shrub. Really don't need pruning. If you want to prune them, you can prune them down in the spring, and then the new wood that's produced will flower for you later in the season. But generally I would plant this somewhere where you can just leave it to do its thing. They get to about a couple of metres.
They can do.
On average. They can get taller, but...
If you grow them out in a border, they will get big. Mine's in a pot because it needs to be in a sunny spot, so I've kept mine in a pot. It's going to stay a bit smaller, but that means I'm going to get all those beautiful flowers. It is deciduous, so bear that in mind. You're going to get it back, and then it's going to turn to twigs, but remember that now is the time to get those perennials in the ground, or get them in the pots to get them nicely established, so that next year you're ahead of the curve. Your plant will be bigger and better than it would be if you were planting it in springtime. Hibiscus marina has the £10 saving. It's just £14.99. 500078 is the item number if you want some tropical beauty in your garden without the tropical, need of extra winter protection. Let's go on. Oh, right, I love these. So anything that flowers on bare stems just tickles my fancy every single time. I don't know what it is. It just really highlights the flowers or something, but if it flowers on bare stems, I love it.
Yeah, I discovered this shrub donkeys years ago when I was a kid. My mum and dad one Christmas, I was only about 7 or 8, my mum and dad bought me this Reader's Digest book. It was Reader's Digest gardening book, and each section, it covered the 12 months of the year.
Right.
And it went through gardening from month to month to month. And each section at the beginning, it had a list of trees, shrubs and flowers in flower at this time. And I discovered this shrub sort of way back then, and it said Chimonanthus praecox, the winter sweet. And I very rarely see it. I've only seen it in 2 or 3 customers' gardens in all the years that I've been gardening, and I just do not understand why, because it is such a knockout winter flowering shrub. Sort of after Christmas, once you start to get to the new year a little bit, probably about middle of January into February, all of a sudden, on bare twigs, without even any little flower stems, these beautiful, really sweetly scented flowers just pop out, and they last for a good 3 or 4 weeks, if not longer. And on a sort of a mild winter day, the fragrance from these is absolutely knockout. And then when the flowers are finished, come the spring, the leaves come out. I mean, these leaves are looking a bit dog-eared now because it's turning into the autumn and the leaves are going to fall off. But look at those. That is what you get on these bare stems in the wintertime. And I tell you, until you've smelt the fragrance of this, I just can't describe how beautiful it is.
Lovely. Well, if you're going for, because we were talking a bit about, winter flowering and getting a bit of succession going on here. So if you were going for the Camellia, you'll get those flowers sort of end of November into December time, and then this is going to come into flower just after that, probably in January time, isn't it?
Yeah, that's going to kick in then. And then what's the third one we've got, Bex?
I can't remember what the third one was.
There is a third one. Of course, the sarcococca.
Oh, of course,
we've already spoken about. So, I mean, if you can stretch to it and you can, buy all 3 of those, you're going to get
colour,
fragrance.
Bit of evergreen, bit of flowering on bare stems.
So I guess starting with the sarcococca, probably from November all the way through to probably the end of February with the winter sweet. And all 3 of them are either going to give you colour, evergreen or fragrance.
So all for getting to that 365 days of colour, isn't it? 510536 is the item number if you want to go for the winter sweet. £5 saving on that one. Now you might need some compost. And we've got the best compost you could possibly buy. It's the best in the business. I know, I'm saying it. I'm putting it out there. It really, really is. It's a fact. I'm saying it, and I know it is, and you know it as well if you've been buying and using this compost. I have not found anything better. I've found things way worse, for sure. I've been very disappointed with other bags of compost that I've opened. Firstly, because sometimes when you open a bag of compost, you then spend 20 minutes picking out great big twigs and things. In fact, somebody was annoyed with us the other day because they can't... what was it we were on there, Stu? Somebody was saying, but they like sieving out the compost. Who was that? Sorry, you're not gonna have to do that with this because it is so well composted. There's no great big twigs and sticks and things, and I like that. That means that any little seed, any little plant doesn't have to fight with all those great big lumps and chunks.
And that's what I've had to. Well, you said about picking out the twigs. I've had to play whack-a-mole with bags of compost before now because.
What? Because they're compacted.
Yeah, because it's so compacted. Before I've opened it, I've had to beat the living daylights with a spade to break it up. Because it comes out the bag like a slab. No good at all. This is so open, so airy, so textured. So it's going to let the water penetrate down and percolate through. It's going to let the roots penetrate through as well. Imagine you're a tiny little seed. I mean, sort of orchid seeds are you almost need a microscope to see them. They're that small. So if you're a seed that tiny, just imagine what a challenge it is to try and germinate in really heavy, compacted, caked kind of compost. This is beautiful. So even the finest seeds can get established and get going. And this is great for cuttings and all those kind of things as well. This has got a wetting agent. which means if it does dry out, it rehydrates really, really quickly. Also, once you've germinated or once you've struck roots as a cutting, you're going to need sustenance. And you've got that with this slow-release fertiliser that's going to feed whatever you put in this up to 6 months.
And that's a really expensive ingredient, by the way, and there's lots of that within this compost, so it's important to point that one out.
It's pH balanced as well, so it's not too acid, it's not too alkaline, so it's going to suit, you know, a real huge amount of plants. And I'm just thinking in my own garden, nearly all my house plants are in this now. This year I grew all my cucumbers. I grew a variety called Socrates, grew them in this. I grew fabulous tomatoes called Modus. I grew them in this.
Everything.
Everything. When I transplant something,
yeah.
I always put loads of this around before I actually put the shrub or whatever I'm planting.
A lot of people will say, you know, when you're planting something in a hole, put in some good organic matter in the hole. This is what we're talking about. You can put this into that hole because it's got all these amazing ingredients in there. It's our compost of choice. It's what we use at the nursery. It's the 5-star rated product, constantly the highest rated product that we bring you, the highest selling product that we bring you as well. And it's because it works. And I know a lot of you know this, so apologies to all you regulars who hear us saying this time and time again. This is for the new people out there that are yet to discover our compost. Truly, it is the best. Please don't think that any old compost will do. It's not the case. Think about what you feed yourself. Do you want to feed yourself the worst, you know, rubbish food every day of the week? Would you be happy? Would you be healthy? Of course you wouldn't. It's exactly the same when it comes to your plants. Your plants need the best, and we are giving you the best here. $24.98 for 100 litres, $22.48 if you're in the club. So do think about this if you're thinking about joining the club. 2 orders of compost, and that is paid for your club already in the savings that you'll make. You also get a free gift included here as well. Use the offer code YGTV4224. This week it's a bag of our daffodil tete-a-tete bulbs worth £9.99. And of course it is delivered direct to your door. Those 2 bags in a cardboard box, easily stackable and storageable. Let's go with it. Delivered direct to your door, free of charge. There is no postage included at all. Hello to Norfolk Eco. New name in the chat. Nice to have you with us. Have you been watching for a while and you've just decided to say hello to us, or are you brand new? Let us know. That's your neck of the woods, isn't it?
Yeah, beautiful Norfolk. Love living there. Best thing I ever did was move to Norfolk. Beautiful part of the country.
100125 is the item number if you want to go for your compost. Strolch.
Can I just say one quick thing?
Of course you can.
You're getting those free daffodil bulbs.
Yeah.
And we're talking about this compost.
Yeah.
Why don't you do your own little experiment? Put half the tate in a real bog standard compost in a pot. Put the other half in our compost. Send us the pictures next spring.
Yeah, we used to have a picture, didn't we?
We did.
I think his name was Dave or Roger? Different Roger. Anyway, he sent us pictures years ago. Side by side, daffodils in one side in our compost, daffodils the other side in some other compost. And it shouldn't make a difference to bulbs. Really shouldn't make a difference to bulbs because bulbs are bulbs. They've already got the goodness in them.
Exactly.
But it did. The difference between the one in our compost, loads of them, the one in the other one, patchy. So it really is amazing. Right, let's tell them about Strolch, because Strolch is... Have I still got the... I don't think I've got the tub.
Shall I go get the bag?
No, it's all right. Stu can get a shot of it. Don't worry. Strolch is an amazing ingredient for, well, not an ingredient, but a topping. So it's a mulch, first of all. It's a beautiful mulch for your plants. So it's something that can then give your plants that duvet that they need over winter. Look at it. So it's a mineralised straw. And it's something that not only can be a duvet for your plants, but has all of these other benefits. Right now, you're going to be buying it because you want that duvet for the plants. It's time of year we need to be starting to think about protecting those tender plants. But then when it gets through to springtime next year and we're starting to get all that new growth coming through, that's when we need to protect them from the slugs and snails.
Well, we've both lost delphiniums this year.
I did.
I had a beautiful blue delphinium.
Previously, I've lost hostas.
Yeah, and every day, I didn't get to it in enough time. Every morning I went out, this poor delphinium was trying to come through, and every night they just munched them off. You put this round, and they really don't like this. When they kind of try and crawl across this, they get a bit of a kind of an unpleasant sensation. It doesn't kill them, which is good, because they're still there to feed the thrushes and the blackbirds and so on, but it deters the slugs and snails. I've used it around my hostas. I've had some fantastic results of it. It's a UK-based product. It's made in the UK. And it's organic as well. It'll rot down eventually and add goodness to the soil. And like Beck said, it's multi-uses as well. So in the summertime, it will keep moisture in the ground, which is great. It will suppress the weeds, which is fantastic. It will stop those horrible slugs and snails. And then in the wintertime, if you've got really heavy soil, you can walk on this between your plants without getting really, really muddy boots.
This is what I like. So it's multi-use, but it's all year round. So springtime, stopping the slugs and snails from eating the fresh new growth. Summertime, suppressing weeds, but also keeping the moisture in the ground. Wintertime, we're giving our plants that duvet that they need with that layer of mulch. And then, when it's lost its kind of abilities of keeping slugs and snails away, we're digging it into the ground, and it's going to then loosen up and add goodness into the texture of the soil.
Yeah, I mean, it's organic, so it's literally going to add organic goodness to the soil. But, don't think, I don't want to put that down, it's gone in 5 minutes. It lasts a good couple of years.
Yeah, a couple of years.
So it's not going to disappear overnight. And then all you need to do is sort of top it up every so often. But it's a fantastic product. I mean, we list on the front of the bag all the fabulous things it does, and I've used it. I was sceptical when I first started using it. I thought that's not going to work. It's a gimmicky product, but honestly, it really does work.
100149 is the item number if you want to get 2 of those 9-kilogram bags. It is a £16 saving available on there. Do you know what? We've kept that deal running for such a long time, so I'm really glad to have that deal still going. That gets us very close to £40. To be honest, if you added in the one of the £4.99 ones, like the perovskia or the delphinium, that'll tip you over the £40, and you don't have any postage to pay. Actually, it's postage included on this anyway. Who cares, right? But then if you add your plant in, your plant will be free postage. You're right, Stu. He's always right. Shouldn't argue with Stu, should I? If in doubt, Stu is right. We've put loads of strolch in there now, haven't we? Right, we will be going back to the spring bulbs, everybody. We will go back to those very soon. But right now... Oh, we're going over already. Do you want to do pots first, Stu? Forget it, we'll come back to the pots. Let's go to the red barren bloodgrass first. So this is a great deal. You're going to get 3 of these, and Adam's got these in his garden. I've actually planted one in my garden as well. I'm waiting for it to really establish, but this is an incredible grass to have because you get bright red grasses on here. Yeah,
we're bringing you some really unusual things today. We're bringing you the fasicularia, which again, a plant that has red and blue flowers. This is a grass that has bright red foliage, but not all the way up, just on the top. These have been cut back for the winter, but this grass starts off limey green at the base, sometimes even a little bit of yellow, and then you have literally blood red tips to this grass. I've grown this grass for the last 2 or 3 years. Gradually, year on year, it kind of spreads and forms a bigger clump. And the longer the summer goes on, the brighter, the darker the colours become, the more dramatic this grass becomes. And when you've got this dark red foliage or leaves on this grass, it gives you a chance to contrast that with something like the blue festuca grass, for example, or the black snake grass, the Ophiopogon. You can start sort of, really having fun with plants that have got this sort of coloration.
Yeah, and grasses work great, not just in grass planting schemes either. You can, and a lot of people are starting to do this, mix it in with the other plants in your borders. It adds lovely colour, it adds amazing structure. Best tip here is to plant it in a full sun position because you'll get the best colour from it. It'll get the brightest red colour, but nice and easy. Just trim it back and it'll come back for you every year. You are getting 3 of those for £9.97. 560017 is the item number. Another triple pack for you here with our rhododendrons, our Japanese azaleas. You are going to get the red, you're going to get the pink, and you're going to get the white included in here as well. We love rhododendrons for their springtime flowers, don't we?
We do, but these ones are evergreen as well. So again, you're not going to be looking at bare twigs in the wintertime. You've got nice, green, shiny foliage to take you through the wintertime. And then in the spring, they do this. This is insane, isn't it? I mean, look at that.
I want that, please.
It looks like the leaves have fallen off.
Yeah.
They are there. They're just hidden under
covered.
this absolute mass of flower. These are absolutely knockout in the spring. For a good 4 weeks or so, just smothered in flower. And you remember, you're getting those 3 different colours. Just one thing to think about, if you haven't got acid soil, you need the ericaceous compost. Grow them in pots. They are fabulous plants in pots. But if you can plant them in the garden, they look fabulous there as well.
Nice and easy to look after, slow growing, no pruning, just absolutely beautiful. We've had a quick question about strulch. Would we put a general fertiliser down before putting the mulch down. This is Glyn.
What I would say is, if you're going to use fertiliser, put the fertiliser down first and then put the mulch on top.
But if you're using a liquid feed, you don't need to worry. You could put the mulch down and it'll go through.
Yeah. I mean, one other thing I might just suggest is I would put the granular feed on a couple of 2 or 3 weeks earlier than you would, just so it gets a chance to be dissolved and washed in by the rain before you put the mulch on top. Because if you put the mulch on top and
might go into the
rain can't get to it, it's not going to dissolve into the ground.
There you go. Hope we've answered that question for you. Thank you very much for sending in your questions. Emails in the chat on YouTube or Facebook, or the email details are on the bottom of the screen. We're more than happy to answer any questions. If we don't know the answers, we'll go away and look it up and come back to you, or we'll ask our head gardener. But generally, Adam knows most of the stuff. Let's move on to our Thalictrum, the meadow rue. This is another triple pack. I will point out they don't look like much right now because Thalictrum naturally drop their leaves. They go a little bit dormant over winter. But again, this is another one we want you to get in the ground now so it can establish, ready to romp away in the springtime. And I really love this one.
I've got these.
I got these.
I have. Yeah, I have got these. I'm not making it up.
No, but the reason we say that, honestly, is because I think if we've got it in our... And we can't have everything, but if we have chosen to put it in our gardens, and particularly, we're working with plants all the time. You've been a gardener all your life.
Yeah.
You've been exposed to so many different plants in your many years on this planet. But no,
there were too many minis there for me, to be honest.
If Adam has chosen a particular plant to go in his garden, I think it speaks highly of that plant.
I look good for 72.
You do look amazing for 72. He's nowhere near that.
But Thalictrum, again, was a perennial that I didn't start using in planting schemes till probably about 5 to 10 years ago. Yeah, and I kind of wish I'd used it sooner. And I put it in my garden, and it is really lovely. Again, it's a bit of an intermediate one, so it tends to flower pretty much just after the spring bulbs are going over, but before the mainstay of all the perennials start flowering. So it fills that little space in between. I've got it at the back of my border where it's quite shady. Still does really well there. It's tough as old boots. It's super drought tolerant. It comes back year after year after year. It doesn't need staking. It's got the most attractive foliage, and it has these spikes of really beautiful, stunning flowers for many weeks. Don't cut the flower heads off afterwards, though, because it has really beautiful seed pods as well that look really interesting afterwards. To grow this is absolutely simple, easy to grow. You'll have this 20, 30 years, and you'll just be so glad you grew it. Put it mid towards the back of the border, gets to about a metre and a half tall, doesn't really need supporting. It's knockout. Try it, you'll love it.
Amazing deal for you as well. Great time of year to bag yourself some bargains when it comes to gardening, but certainly at YGTV, that is what we bring you. It's like a buy one, get two free. It's £9.97 for all three of those. A big £20 saving as long as you use the code. Moving on now to our garden readies. It's going to be last call very soon for garden ready plants. There's still time, don't get me wrong, but it is going to be the last call for garden readies. We'll be moving on to other things very soon. It's a mix and match here, so you can buy, buy 10... get 10 free, so it's a buy one get one free, and you can go for either the Pansy Matrix Britannia, or we've got the Polyanthus Spring Fever here, so you can get 20 of one, 20 of the other, or 10 of each. It's entirely up to you. Starting off with the Pansy Matrix Britannia, so the red, white and blue colour scheme here is just knockout, isn't it? And these are going to flower for you all the way through the winter time.
They will, yeah. Look at the root system on that. Those roots. That's insane, isn't it, really? I mean, these seriously do need to get into some new compost soon, because
they're running out of space now.
They're running out of space.
They're raring to grow. Get them in your garden.
I mean, look how bushy and healthy and green and verdant these are. I mean, these are just such beautiful plants, and it's still early enough in the season that these can get a footing into the ground. These can get themselves established, because if you do sort of manage to find some of these, say, towards the end of November, and then we've already had some of those -3, -4 frosts, they're not going to establish as quickly. They're going to get a bit shocked. Get them in now. They'll get themselves established. They're already flowering. They'll keep flowering, and they'll keep flowering through the winter. These are bone hardy. They'll take any amount of frost, and they'll flower through the winter. when we get towards late winter, early spring, they'll have even more of a kind of a big flowering period. And then if you want to take the effort and time, you can treat these as a perennial. So when they're finally finished flowering, trim them back, give them a drink, put them somewhere out the way for the summer, sort of cool, shady, bring them out again later in the year, feed them, and they'll do this all over again.
They will, and they're nice and upright as well. The matrix have been bred to have those nice upright stems, so great for putting in the top of your hanging baskets or in the, in the top of pots, in the middle of pots, because you'll have those lovely upright stems on here. £9.99 or £8.99 if you're in the club, and it's mix and match, so you can go for 10 of those, 20 of those. If you go for 20, one pack will be absolutely free, or you could go for 10 of those and maybe 10 of the polyanthus, the spring fever. These are also garden ready plants. I love a polyanthus. I love these rosettes of foliage that you get here.
Yep.
Real deep, luscious green, like, I don't know, the markings on them, the veining on them, and then you get these gorgeous rosettes of flowers that appear as well.
They are beautiful, and I like the fact the rosette comes up on a stem as well. So you've got that kind of central stem with this explosion of flower on the top, and you've got that lovely honey colour there. You've got that sort of much sort of lighter kind of yellow as well. But again, I mean, look how beautiful that plant is, Bex. I mean, goodness me, that's just a perfect specimen, isn't it?
It is, it's beautiful.
The leaves are deep green.
The interest on there is incredible.
Yeah, glossy, shiny, healthy leaves. Almost looks like sort of like a kale leaf or something.
That's exactly what I was just thinking. I was like, it's like kale.
It's got that kind of texture to it, hasn't it?
Don't eat it.
And you can just see those primulas are just gagging to get into the soil and start flowering for you. Brilliant quality, beautiful spring flowers.
Yeah,
really,
gorgeous.
really knockout.
410013 is the item number if you want to go for the polyanthus, the garden readies. Buy one, get one free, mix and match. So just choose which 20 you want. No? Yes, we'll choose which 20 you want, put them in your basket, enter the code. One of them will pop up as being free once you put the code in. Yeah, you've got to put what you want in your basket. Sorry, I have to remember. Right, let's talk to you about the pots, shall we? Let's start with the ones that Adam's got, which are the black and white. Not black and silver. They're black and white. Look, Stu did something amazing technical. Look at that.
I think that's really cool.
Look how professional we are.
It looks like a little bit of graffiti, doesn't
I love it.
A bit of graffiti art.
I think we should start doing that with all of our information.
I just like the ad hoc kind of just, to hell with it kind of way he's done that there. So.
Well, look, it's a buy one, get two free here. So
It's a buy one, get two free.
I said. So you're going to put one of these into your basket, and then you're going to put the code in. The other two that Adam's got there will then appear in your basket. We love the design on here. We love the kind of oriental theme that you've got, that kind of wicker pattern on there. The fact that it's black and white as well, that real contrast is amazing.
Yeah, real drama on these. Somebody's really taken the effort. Somebody's really sat down and thought, I want to design a pot, a plastic pot that looks high-end, looks classy, looks interesting, and this is what they've come up with. And not only has it got the interesting look, but it's actually textured as well, which is nice. It just kind of makes it feel more realistic. It's UV stable, it's frost resistant. I like the fact that the rim at the top is that dark sort of solid colour compared to the actual pot itself. It frames the plants, and then in the base there we go, you've got the drainage holes, but also those little dipped areas in between, they're little reservoirs that will actually hold some moisture as well. So, these are not going to drain out completely. They're going to hold some water in reserve for your plant. And these are going to last you donkey's years, year after year after year. And they're that perfect size for a lot of the plants we've got in the studio today. And you could, for instance, the Yuletide, the Escallonia, elle, the pomegranate, they could all live in here for a good, all live in this.
Let's get the Escallonia.
For sort of,
I'm going to get that one.
2 or 3 years. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the pomegranate actually as well. So
let's see. I mean, Escallonia is going to live in there quite happily. The Bromeliad would live in there as well.
Oh yeah, that would look good. Yeah,
It's up to you. I mean, if you want to do your bulbs in here,
that looks good, Bex.
Bulbs in here would look amazing as well. I mean, the tulips, the daffodils, your free gifts, they would look beautiful in there. 3
Caribbean lilies in here, couldn't you?
Oh, I don't know if you'd put 3 in.
Oh, really?
Well, they get to about 30 by 30. I reckon. I mean, first year maybe actually.
Are they smaller than the?
They're smaller.
They're smaller than the green.
Slightly smaller than the Prisma.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what.
I think you could probably put 1. But listen, I'm an overplanter, so I'd probably put 3 in anyway.
I shall retract that statement.
Don't need to.
I reckon. How about if you wanted to start with, 3 of the barren bloodgrass in here to begin with.
Oh yeah, that'd be really
that
nice.
could work, couldn't
and
it?
then once
Yeah.
it fills out, you can split them. They're going to work gorgeously. Really nice size. One that you can change over semi-regularly as well without it costing you too much money. 130227 is the item number if you want to get the wicker planters, the black and white. Buy one, get 2 free. We've also got our lavals, which I think have got a slightly more contemporary design and feel to them. Lovely, gorgeous, kind of brushed grey colour and texture again as well here.
Yeah. You've got colour, you've got texture, and you've just got a pot that somebody's really thought about, and I just love the look of these. In fact, that kind of vertical decoration on the side really gives these a sort of sense of height and stature as well. You can just imagine these with the parrot tulips in. I've got an obsession with growing parrot tulips in these for some reason. Sometimes you can just picture something in your mind, and I can just picture a beautiful day in early May with the beautiful green leaves of those tulips just overhanging the side of the pot, and those tall, upright parrot flowers in the middle there, and the blue sky behind, the birds, the bees.
You've transported me.
It's good, isn't it?
I'm there, I'm
all
ready.
to come, all to come.
Right, it's a twin pack for the lavals, so it's 2 of them, well, a twin pack for £14.98, but if you put 2 lots into your basket, which is 4 pots in total, the second lot will be £5 basically, which breaks down to £5 each for the 4 that you would be receiving in that double-up deal. 26 centimetre diameter, 130595 is the item number if you want to go for the lavals. But if you want something just that little bit bigger, then we've got the option for you as well, which is the April planter. I am so happy with square pot. Loads of round pots. We've got lots of round pots, but sometimes you need a square pot. Well, yeah, but Stu's just saying that the square pots fit in the gaps between the round ones because the point here, that bit will just sit in between, so you can fit more in your garden, which is what I'm all about. The more I can get in my garden, the happier I'm going to be. But also, and we said this earlier, like about standards. So the standard trees and things that you can have. I think when you've got the round ball of colour up at the top, sometimes putting it in a round pot doesn't work because the round and the round just, it doesn't quite work right.
To contrast, the contrast looks great.
But when you've got the square pot with the round head, like you can see here, that works absolutely perfectly, and that's what I want to do with my olive trees that I've got out the front of the house as well.
And these would be perfect size.
And these would be the absolute perfect size.
Yeah.
So, shrubs, plants, things like that could live in this permanently. It would be a permanent home for so many different things, but it could be, for summer bedding, winter bedding, bulbs. It could be for so many different things, couldn't it?
And these are tough as well. I mean, I was earlier on, I was trying to sort of push the sides in. I was really white knuckling these, but I can't deform these. These are really nice and firm. So even once these are full of really, say, wet compost in the wintertime, they're not going to distort or change shape. And we love the patterns on the side. I mean, Bex went dahlia, I went chrysanthemum. I think either. You just got that nice look. I'm a bit of a rebel sometimes because when you've got square pots, I don't always necessarily like to put them flat
on.
I like to do
that
them
way.
Yeah,
Me
I
too.
like to do that sometimes
Me
as
too.
well. Just gives them a different feel, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Different angle. Yeah.
130573. It's a pair that you would be getting here. They're 20 litre capacity, 36 centimetre diameter, and we have taken 20 quid off the price there. It's £14.99. Better than half price deal for you on those. We need to go back over to the favourites. We're into the last 45 minutes.
That's
so
gone
yeah,
quick. Blimey.
Lots and lots of things to show you in the last 45 minutes. Starting at
Whoa.
Hello, camera. Was that the camera's fault or was that Stu's fault?
Got a bit of motion sickness then.
Stu made a mistake. Stu made a mistake. It very rarely happens. He's going to be kicking himself now. He hates it when he makes a mistake. Right, Camellia Yuletide. Let's talk to you about the Camellia. This one is beautiful. It's glossy, it's evergreen, and you're going to get winter bright red flowers on here.
Yeah, there's no mistakes with that plant. It's absolutely immaculate and perfect. It's gorgeous. And the audacity of it as well. It's January, it's December, and it decides to put out out these beautiful flowers.
How dare it?
I know. These lovely single flowers with these perfect yellow stamens in the middle on top of super glossy, bright green foliage that's evergreen. This is definitely a winter flowering shrub you've got to have in your garden, because stepping out on a winter's day when it can be so dank and dismal in a British winter and seeing this, it's just going to lift your mood. It's just going to give you that bit of joy. It's like a lifeline, if you like, between the autumn and summer that's gone and the winter and the spring that's about to arrive. And that's the great thing about winter flowering shrubs. And because generally in the UK we have quite a temperate winter climate, don't we? I know we get those odd freaky weeks where we get a bit of snow or some severe frost, but generally, you know, we're about, what, 5, 6, 7 degrees, aren't we, most days?
Yeah.
And we don't have those extremes like they do in Canada or places like that. So you can enjoy a shrub like this Camellia. You can grow it in a pot if you haven't got acid soil in the garden. Grow it in a pot in ericaceous compost. It's got the lovely serrated edges to the leaves, almost a little bit reminiscent of holly leaves. And the plants we're sending out to you are already covered in buds, so you will get flowers on yours this year.
And we do mean covered in buds, honestly. You saw me, if you were watching earlier, this one stem here, I can't remember how many I counted, but like 15, 16 buds just on that one stem. So if you then look at the rest of the plant, you will get so many flowers and you won't be waiting long to get those. It's 510818 is the item number. If you go to yougarden.com, type in that item code, that will pop up and you can place that in your basket. It is a £15 saving today as long as you're using our offer code YGTV4224. You'll also get a bag of free daffodil bulbs included in that order as well. Right, we need to go to the clematis, please. This one was the one that got promoted onto, or one of the ones that got promoted onto our favourites table because it was so popular when we did the YGTV show on Thursday. An evergreen, fragrant, compact clematis. Though that doesn't exist.
Yeah, all the things you thought you couldn't have on a clematis, because a lot of people worry about pruning clematis. I even get confused now about when to prune certain clematis. Well, with this one, you don't have to worry about pruning it, not for the first 4 or 5 years anyhow. And even then, all you've got to do one spring is cut it down to 20 centimetres if you want, if it's got, you know, too scruffy. But then it's never going to get that tall, only about 2 metres tall. But whatever time of year it is, it'll always have these lovely evergreen leaves. Then in the spring it will flower with these beautiful white flowers, green centres. But it won't just flower, give you fragrance as well. So an absolutely brilliant all-round clematis.
And it's a double up for £1. So one is £12.99, but if you put 2 in your basket and use the code, the second one is only £1 more. So definitely consider getting both of those. You could put both of those into one of our tower pots and they would grow happily in there. It's such a great one to get. I can see why you all bought that one, because that one is just fantastic, isn't it? 550101 is the item number if you want to go for the clematis kimiko. Right, Adam's going to change the table over because we've still got some stuff to show you, and I'll give you a little reminder of some of the things that we've seen. So if you want to make a little list, then please get your pens and papers ready now. Coming up soon will be our tulip parrot mixed. Oh, I'm so glad you love this as much as me and Adam. We adore this particular tulip. I mean, just look at those petals. You can see why it's called tulip parrot for starters, because it does look like the, you know, amazing flamboyant feathers of a tropical parrot, doesn't it? Gorgeous colour mix. I mean, that green and yellow together is incredible, isn't it? Love them. Do grab hold of these. I think your spring garden will be a talking point if you are growing them. It's part of the 3 for 2 mix and match. So we've got a bunch of bulbs that are available to you. You choose which 3 packs you want, put them in your basket, enter the code, 1 bag will be free. So go for 3 of the same if you want, or 3 different. It's entirely up to you. 600429 for the tulip parrot. Maybe it's the Oxalis that you want in there. 630043. You'll get 10 bulbs in each of the bags. So it's a couple of quid saving on that one too. These need a little bit of extra winter protection. Don't let them get frosty, basically. So if you give them that extra little bit of winter protection, then you will get these year on year, and they're really unusual. They don't get massive, nice and compact. Again, quite wintry, you know, Christmassy colours that you've got there as well. Lovely candy cane red and white stripes along there as well. Love those. Neil was saying he grew those last year and he's got himself another bag because he likes them so much. Thank you, Neil. 630043 is the item number. Bluebells. Elaine, I did see your picture. Hopefully we'll get a chance to show that before the end. Thank you for sending that. Bluebells are gorgeous. They have those lovely nodding blue flowers on there. They're quite whimsical. They love a slightly shadier spot, so definitely underplant. I mean, I've got some growing in full sun, but I think they work better in those lovely shady spots. Bag of 20 bulbs in the mix and match offer. 600278 is the item number. Perovskia, half price deal, just £4.99. It's known as Russian sage. A nice alternative to lavender. Lives in exactly the same locations, but flowers for longer. What more could you want there? Nice woody shrub that will grow into. 511497 is the item number, and just £4.99. Of course, you still get your extra 10% saving if you're in the club. Yeah, I mean, it's saving upon saving here at YGTV. Philadelphus, the mock orange, beautiful white flowers that you get on here, but it's the fragrance, isn't it? It's not just the beauty of the flowers, it's the fragrance of them, which is what's going to really delight you. A nice, sweet, citrusy fragrance. A deciduous plant, but definitely well worth having in your garden to get. I mean, look how many flowers you're going to get. And that fragrance is going to just light up your nostrils. 510393 is the item number. And it's better than half price if you're in the club as well. Now, we haven't shown you the next one today, but if you are looking for spring bulbs and you want lots of them, you can get our spring flowering bulb collection. 7 varieties that will flower. And I've worked it out, probably about 7 months worth of flowers, because it starts out with the crocus in February time and it ends with the Alium drumsticks, the spherocephalons in early August is when they start flowering. But you've got Iphion in there, you've got the Alium mollies in there, you've got Narcissus, the canaliculatas, you've got Tulip triumphs included in there as well. And those are the spherocephalons, the drumsticks. So many different colours, shapes, you know, bit of fragrance included as well. And they naturalise and come back year after year. And it's a half price deal. You are saving £15 on there. 630050 is the item number. Make sure you put the code in. Otherwise, you're going to pay full price. I don't want you to do that. Next, we've got our Alium collection. So this is 100 bulbs. You're getting, I think it's 7 different varieties again. They've got the Nectaroscordum, the Siculums, those lovely dangling flowers, the Christophies, which are the big purple balls that you can see there. You also get some more of the Alium mollies included. So those are those lovely yellow sort of sparkler type flowers. You've got Neapolitanum, and the other white one is called Nigrum, that's it. And then you've got the spherocephalons included in there as well, the drumstick ones. So those are slightly later flowering. Those sort of happen in the summertime. And then you get all the others that come up in the springtime too. Oh, and the purple sensations, of course. You get purple sensation included in there as well. Now, red barren grass. This is the time to get it, because you're going to get, it's like a buy one get 2 free here. It's £9.97, but you're going to get 3 pots, saving £20. Ah, that's it, just get that. Bright red colour you will get from that, as long as you put that in a nice sunny spot. Can cope in a slightly shadier position. You'll still get some red, it just won't be quite as vibrant. They work great in pots on their own, or mix them into borders, you know, and get that lovely contrast with the grass stems and the other foliage in your garden. 560017 is the item number. Meadow Rue, Thalictrum, pack of 3 you're getting. Don't look like much right now. They are doing their winter thing, so they're deciduous. But getting them in the ground now is what we are suggesting, because then they can get a nice root structure. You're getting ahead of next year. If you plant them in spring, great. But if you plant them now, you'll hopefully get a bigger, better, healthier plant earlier on. 560256 is the item number, and it is another buy one, get 2 free, because we've taken £20 off the price there. This is the other reason to shop and buy these sort of perennials now, because you get the best deals. Oh, pink elle, which is the last one we're going to show you here, the Escallonia. One of the head gardener's favourites. It was in his head gardener's deal that we did last year. Beautiful evergreen shrub here, panicles of pink flowers, lovely growth rate to it, doesn't take over, only ever gets to about 1 metre in height and spread, can be planted into a border, a nice sunny border somewhere, but can also be grown as a feature plant in a pot as well. Nice and easy to look after, not fussy on soil type. 510545 is the item number, and we have taken 1/3 off that price as well, so it's just £9.99, which is a good price for a 2 litre pot. In fact, that's an amazing price for an established plant in a 2 litre pot. Right, we're coming back. We're coming back with spring bulbs. We're coming back with your favourite spring bulbs. We're coming back with our favourite spring bulbs. So Norfolk Eco, if you are still watching, this one is for you. The Tulip Parrot Mix. Adam bought 3 bags of these earlier on in the week, and I promise you I will place my order to get mine as well.
Yep, these are just extraordinary. I mean, sometimes when we walk into the studio and we see the colour cards laid out, sometimes there's one particular thing that just...
it talks to you every time, yeah.
Hits you between the eyes,
and
doesn't it?
And it's this one.
Yeah, and we saw these the other day. We saw these tulip parrots, and it was like, whoa, look at them. I mean, everything about them. First of all, the colour range. I mean, the colour range is mind-blowing. The fact that even on one flower head, you've got like 2 or 3 different colours, but then the shape of the flower heads as well, because you normally think of tulip heads being that sort of perfect goblet kind of shape, don't you? Which are stunning, but these... I mean, these just are so different. They're so unusual. The way the petals are ruffled and sort of incurved and recurved and all these different shapes. I think these are just absolutely beautiful. Yeah. They remind me of sometimes when you go into a stately home somewhere and you see one of these really old paintings on the wall.
Oh, yeah. Like an old Dutch master painting. I mean, tulips were used so much in Dutch master paintings. I mean, tulipomania. When you read into tulip history, it's absolutely fascinating, isn't it? Tulip bulbs used to sell for more than the cost of a house back then. Yeah. Because they just went crazy, didn't they?
It was insane. But the weird thing was, the people would pay thousands. Was it guilders? I think that's a currency they had in...
no, quite possibly, yeah.
They would pay thousands guilders for one of these tulip bulbs. What they didn't realise at the time is that it was a virus that was causing all these different patinations on the actual tulip flower itself. And that virus was killing the bulb. Yeah. So, and they were finding after 4 or 5 years they just couldn't get this tulip to grow anymore. But people still
tried. Thousands.
Yeah, they spent thousands on it. They didn't realise the bulb was doomed. But what we've been able to do with kind of modern breeding techniques, we've been able to keep some of these characteristics, but with healthy bulbs.
Absolutely.
Not bulbs that have got a virus or a disease. So this is how we can bring you like a magical collection like these.
They are magical. That's a great word. That is a magical parrot.
It is magical.
That one.
Yeah.
Tulip, that one. Magical parrot.
But, I mean... But the colour mix there, I think actually do we use raw mail to deliver?
No, Yodel.
Oh, so I just got an email just now to say Royal Mail were delivering a parcel today.
Oh, no, it's not yours.
Oh, and I thought that might be my YouGarden one coming today.
Not yet.
No. But yeah, I just can't wait for my box of bulbs to arrive, my 3 packs of these to arrive, and it's going to be a real joy getting them in pots. I'm going to grow them in pots because I've already got lots of bulbs in the garden and I can't remember where they are, so I don't want to... Yeah, so I don't do that thing.
Same as me.
But quite often you do it, you go to dig a hole and then you slice straight through a bulb.
I know, it's really annoying.
I didn't realise they were there. So I'm going to grow these in pots, have them on the patio, near the patio doors, and and
there'll be a treat.
Yeah, and before you know it, I mean, 1 minute you're kind of thinking, I can't face winter and the dark evenings or whatever. And you know what? In the next minute,
it's spring.
You'll be seeing these bulbs come up, and the tulips will be there, and it'll all be joyful and wonderful again. And that's the magic of gardening, and that's the magic of growing bulbs, because inside every bulb there's already a little embryonic flower. And what we're going to do, Bex? Yeah. I'm going to ask you.
There's no smell.
No fragrance at all, is there, on those?
And that is actually important, isn't it? Because if there's a smell to them.
They're musty.
Yeah.
Or mildewy.
These are solid. They're incredibly good quality bulbs. They're size 10 and 11, so really good size for a tulip bulb. Plant them pointy side up. Water them in. I mean, you don't need to do too much watering in our country, do you? Sit back and wait, and in April, May time, you're going to have the best tulip display. So's Adam. So am I. 600-429 is the item number to go for the Tulip Parrot Mix. It's a 3 for 2 mix and match. So pick whichever 3 bags of bulbs you want, put them in your basket, enter the code 1 bag will be free. I'm just hearing a lot of you are going for 3 bags of those, just like Adam did earlier on in the week.
It'll be tulip mania all over again.
There will be tulip mania all over again.
Between all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's move on to the other most popular one. Oh, the most popular order is 3 lots of the parrot.
Don't surprise me.
I'm not surprised
In fact,
either.
I might even order another 3 today.
All right, the other popular one is the Caribbean lily. It was super popular last year when we brought it to you, and it is proving to be the same again this year. We sold out of our earliest batch of bulbs. We've got a good lot in now, so don't worry too much. But this is Amanda's story here. She took pictures of the progression, the buds opening up, going from the outwards inwards, and this is what I love about this particular plant. This is what I kept saying last year. That journey. It's not just that the flower has opened, and yes, it's beautiful. It's that you go out every single day to look at the progression of those flowers opening, and I think that's what's truly special about this flower.
Yeah, but even before the flower opens, on that picture a little while back, before the flower even opened, the bud itself looked amazing with all those kind of little tentacles that were kind of...
almost looks hairy.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, that in itself is really fascinating. And then, as you say, day on day, each like little circle, little sort of concentric circle of flower buds kind of opens day after day after day, and then eventually you get this whole head of flower. And for me, it's kind of a cross between an agapanthus and an Alium, but a nice sort of squat sort of plant. Again, I've got 3 packs of these on the way because I was so blown over by well, your pictures that we're looking at now. You know, when all of you that watch us kept sending you pictures this year, I thought I've got to grow these, and you know, these are just beautiful, and they look like they're going to be really temperamental. They look like they're going to be prima donnas, but they're tough and they're easy.
They're tough,
to
hardy,
grow.
nice and easy. Big bulbs as well that you're getting here. And the tip with these bulbs is to not go too deep. We would normally say 2 to 3 times the depth of the height of the bulb, but that's not the case with these, is it?
As Mika says, big bulbs are beautiful, and these are big bulbs, aren't they?
They are big bulbs.
Really nice.
We're going to plant that about there. So when it comes to putting those in the ground, that sprouting bit is just going to be poking out the top. If you haven't got a sprouting bit just below the soil surface is where you want to go with those ones.
Great, no, beautiful.
Can't wait. Can I show Tony's picture, please? Tony says, hi Bex, a couple of photos. I bought 120 Pro plugs of Sweet Williams, and I've also added another 50 pots to my collection from your deals. I got 40 Infinity and 10 more Laval. Don't know where they're going yet. I just wanted to show that picture there because he stacked them up. Look at that, ready to go. Those Infinity pots that we had on recently, those have gone. We know where they went. They went to Tony's garden. And the Lavals that we've got on today, he's stocked up on a few of those as well. So that's brilliant. Love that. Thank you, Tony. Let me just see the other pictures quickly. Just because he sent it. Oh, look, there we go. There's his Sweet Williams, all potted up. Look, growing on, ready to go. Brilliant.
Sweet Williams.
Well done, Tony.
A really, really beautiful flower.
I love them. Oh, and Amanda. Oh, yeah, Tony's the one that only started gardening just over a year and a bit ago. And, like, he's doing so well.
Got addicted.
Amanda, thank you. She sent us the picture of her cottage garden perennials that she received just a few weeks ago. She's growing those on. She got the Lucky Dip. Look, that's verbena there, isn't it? Got loads of those just growing on nicely. Got the Camellias, got some Goras, got some hollyhocks. All sorts in that little collection, just growing on really nicely. So thank you, Amanda. Appreciate that. All right, let's move on, shall we? Thank you for your pictures, everybody. I don't know if we'll get a chance to show any more, but it is ygtv@yougarden.com if you want to send any pictures through to us. The sarcococca is proving to be very popular at this time of year, and it always is, you know, because it's evergreen, it's beautiful, it creates flowers, it's fragrant, and it's a winter flowering one.
It's winter flowering. I mean, do you want to walk out on a winter's day and just have your sort of...
One of those bright, crisp...
Yeah.
Like, you know, chilly, but the sun's shining, blue sky. Those are my favourite winter days. I feel happy at that. Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of day I wanted to get married on. It turned out to be warm. Anyway, never mind. I love those winter days. Walk out into your garden, crisp, sunshiny, chilly, but nice.
Yeah, with the sort of the rustle of leaves under your feet still.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
and then you get the smell from the winter gem just floating on the breeze.
There's and I'm trying to rack my brains to think of it. There's a place in Cambridge called something Abbey. That's a big garden that you can go and see. And they're really known for a famous winter garden they've got there.
I better go. I've never been.
My half screaming at the screen what it is, but I can't think what it is. And they have a winter flowering garden, and they plant masses of these.
Oh, really?
And it's like a real snaking serpentine path that goes through. And they have January.
Just down the road. I've never been.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And they have January flowering daffodils and all sorts. And they've what do you call it? They're witch hazel and winter flowering viburnums. and they've got masses of these sarcococca, and the fragrance when you walk through.
It's so good.
It is gorgeous.
It's a vanilla-y scent, isn't it? It's a nice, sweet... That's why it's called Christmas box or chocolate box, because it's got a lovely vanilla scent to it.
But this is an easy plant. I mean, it's evergreen, it's drought tolerant. It does well in shade as well. So if you want a plant for shade, it does great for shade. Never gets particularly tall, about knee height, possibly waist height max, but a nice compact plant, never needs pruning or trimming or anything. You plant it, you leave it, you enjoy it.
Absolutely. 510563 is the item number, nicely established in that 15cm pot, and it's got that £5 saving as long as you use the code, which will also give you your free gift as well. The Bromeliad, the fasicularia bi-colour. This is something a little bit weird and wonderful, which is the biggest compliment I can pay it.
I ordered this.
I know you did.
Basically, last week I came in, YouGarden paid me for doing the show.
And you spent it all.
And then I spent all the money buying plants back from YouGarden. But I don't care, because you know, it was a brilliant way to spend my money. And I used to have one of these in my old garden in Bishop Stortford. I couldn't move it to my new garden in Swaffham. And I've always wanted another one of these. And when I saw this last week, I think it was the size of it. Because he was already such a mature plant.
So established, isn't it?
So established, yes. And I know probably that was going to probably start flowering next year already.
Yeah.
And all these ask of you, these, is when you plant them in a really sunny, bright, well-drained position. That honestly, they do not mind being dry. They are really, really happy in super, super dry soil. So anywhere like that will be fine. And then when they do flower, the base of the leaves turn blood red before then this weird inflorescence in the middle turns like electric blue. And the combination of those two is a real talking point. This is a Bromeliad, same member as the pineapple family. So yeah, grow this. It's weird, it's different, it's unusual, great for kids or grandchildren.
Evergreen.
Evergreen. You know, children will find this absolutely fascinating.
Yeah. 560100 is the item number, and it is a half-price deal, so it's a £10 saving on that one as long as you use your offer code YGTV4224. And finally on this table we've got the delphinium, the magic fountain.
Yeah, I mean, magic fountain couldn't be a better name for it really, because it's a fountain of colour. It's a fountain of gorgeous petals that can be pink, that can be white, that can be blue, that can be purple. Really, that sounds like a maker song there, doesn't it? But yeah, I mean, they really, really can. That's it, yeah. Well, they can.
Let's go.
And, yeah, and look at the root system on that as well. Fabulous root system on there. Oh, there's a little
there's a little bug in there.
Yeah, a little sluggeroo. We need to show him the Strolch and send him packing. But the good thing about this is you plant this plant now, and because the ground is still warm, the roots from this delphinium are going to get themselves into the ground. Even this time of year, they'll start to establish now. So that means come next spring, it hasn't got to do two things at once. All it's got to do next spring is flower. And these will flower for you next year, and they'll flower twice, because you'll get your initial flowering, which will be fantastic. When that's happened, take the flower spike down to ground level, feed your plant, give it a really good feed with a liquid feed, blooming fast for example. It will send up another flower spike that will flower later in the summer. So you can get a double flowering season out of delphiniums. And these ones are quite good as well, because they've been bred to be quite stout, but with tall spikes, so they're sort of more wind resistant. But if you're in a really windy place, give them a bit of support, but generally these are pretty self-supporting.
Lovely. 511552 is the item number. It is an amazing deal. So you might be thinking, well, why do I want to plant delphinium now? It's not going to do anything till next year. Well, first of all, you're getting an amazing price. So you won't be paying £4.99 for this in the springtime. And also, it's a really important time to get this in the ground now so that it can get nicely established. And then it'll, hopefully what it means is you'll get a bigger, better flower next year than if you planted it in springtime. 511552 is the item number. Of course, it's only going to be £4.49 if you're in the club, because you get an extra 10% discount as well.
I would just quickly say, Bex, as well, if you're going to get the delphinium, pop a bag of Strolch in with your order as well, because plant the delphinium, put the Strolch around it, and you can give it full protection from the get-go then.
Yeah, slugs and snails, they do like delphiniums, unfortunately, but it's just the fresh new growth. So once the new growth starts coming through in springtime, they like munching on that. So yeah, plant it in, put some Strolch around the base, and that'll stop the slugs and snails from destroying your delphiniums like they did with mine. Right, let's move on back. Oh no, parrot bulbs, sorry. Just a quick reminder of the parrot bulbs. It is so popular this morning. Of course it is. Look at it. I don't need to say any more, just look at it. That's why you want that in your garden.
Yeah, they are just...
Look at them.
They really are. just I can understand why the buyer, you know, because we have buyers. You can understand if you was a buyer, and you're flicking through.
As soon as you see that picture, yes, please.
Yeah, well, yes, please. We'll have them.
Yes, please.
We'll have you know, a few hundred or a few thousand packs of those. I don't know what it exactly is, but
I would plant a whole border in those. They're so pretty, so pretty. Right, so Stu's saying the stock is not infinite, but it's okay. So I think we're all right. We better be, because I haven't placed my order yet. So I need to get through till 12:30 so I can place my order. 600429 is the item number if you want to go for the tulip parrot mixed. It is part of the 3 for 2 mix and match. So put whichever 3 packs of bulbs that are included in the offer into your basket, and one of those packs will be absolutely free when you enter the code YGTV4224.
Sounds a bit windy out there, doesn't it?
Was it wind? Is it windy? Is that what that noise was?
That's good.
I thought there was like something crawling on the roof. All right, let's move on. We haven't got long left. Quick, quick, quick. Right, let's talk about the Escallonia, the pink elle, a gorgeous evergreen shrub. And do you know what I like? I like the panicles of flowers, but then when you look at them, because they've got these lovely pink tips and then they go slightly whiter towards the centre, and I like that graduation of colour.
Yeah, it's nice when you get sort of 2 colours in sort of one bloom, and the fact that you've got so many individual flowers on that one flower head is nice as well.
Yeah.
And it sort of has a repeat flowering time as well, because it has its main kind of splurge of flowers in springtime.
A splurge?
Yeah, kind of mid-springtime, Mayish, sort of June time.
Technical term, that.
Yeah, it's like Stuart's white, you know. It's just
Sorry.
Nothing wrong with a splurge, is there? It's a splurge of colour. But then, throughout the summer, it kind of sporadically throws out other
splurges.
Yeah, other splurges, but smaller splurges, mini splurges of colour. Well, hence the fact that we're in the 3rd week of October.
Yeah,
it's got some flowers on now. Still trying, still giving it some. It's still giving it some even now. But evergreen as well. This, which is good. Compact, only gets about 1 metre tall. Doesn't really need pruning. Doesn't really need shaping. Great in a pot. Fabulous container plant. Looks good in the garden as well. Yeah, it's just one of those plants that you plant it, you leave it, you look at it, you love it. It's as simple as that.
Like it. 511545 is the item number, 1/3 off the price there, £5 saving. I think that is well worth adding into your basket. Philadelphus mock orange is maybe another one you want to get in there. This one's called the virginal because it's got these pure white gorgeous flowers, but it is very much about fragrance that you get on here as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that pure white blossom in the spring. Let's go straight in for its main asset, because that's what it is. Pure white blossom in the spring, super double flowers, and a real heady sweet fragrance that carries through the air for a good sort of 4 or 5 weeks. It's not evergreen, this shrub, but it turns a super buttery yellow in the autumn before the leaves finally fall, so you get a lovely autumn display off this as well. But you know what? It's bone hardy, it's drought tolerant, doesn't really care what kind of soil it grows in. It'll grow in full sun, it doesn't mind a partly shady position. It'll fill quite a big area as well. It can get 3 to 4 metres tall if you want it tall too. So if you want to fill a big space with something that's dramatic, easy, long-lived, these can live 50, 60, 70 years. They are really long-lived shrubs. But if it gets too tall for you, after it's finished flowering in the spring, cut it down to whatever height you want it to be, and all the new growth that comes thereafter will then give you flower the following year. So a really easy shrub, a rewarding shrub, fragrance, colour, longevity.
Okay, so 510393 is the item number. Better than half price deal if you're in our club. If you're umming and ahhing as to whether to join the club, I really want to recommend it to you. It costs just £5 to join, and that gives you 12 months worth of discount. So, I mean, you only have to spend 50 quid on plants within a year, and that is paid for your club membership.
Yeah, you reminded me of St. Kells as well, because another little thing that came up was said if I put my birthday in,
yes.
It said we might send you...
Oh, they send you a little gift
Yeah, we might send you a little gift for your birthday. So
I don't remember receiving one last year. I wonder whether I put my gift in
for
my birthday.
It said might. Didn't
might.
say, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So,
we might. I'll let you know in January when it's my birthday. I'll let you know if I get anything. OK, let's move on. Perovskia. So this is called Prime Time. It's a £4.99 item, half price. Tell us about this one, Adam.
ridiculously hardy, again, not fussed about it'll grow in the poorest, driest, most awful soil. A nice upright sort of, almost like a semi-shrub really, like a shrubby perennial. You can cut it right down in spring to about 5 or 6 inches, it will grow back again. Lovely aromatic silver foliage, but months and months and months of these wonderful blue flowers. So if you fancy an alternative to lavender, because it's very similar to lavender in a lot of ways and where it will grow, but it will flower for a lot longer than lavender.
Amazing. And of course the price is just fantastic. It got promoted onto our favourites table today because you were buying it in numbers on a Thursday. Let's move on though. Fragrant clematis, the kimiko. I mean, that picture, look at that. I would love that in my garden.
Well, it's another one that's got all the brilliant attributes as well, because this is a clematis you almost never have to prune. This is a clematis that's evergreen, so none of those bare, wiry, boring, twiggy sticks in the winter with nothing on. This is going to have lovely leaves all the way through the winter, and they're quite thick, cardboardy kind of thickness kind of leaves, so you can tell those leaves are going to be really hardy through the winter. Then come the spring, for a good sort of 4 or 5 weeks, masses of these beautiful, very simple but perfectly beautiful white flowers with those lime green centres, pumping out fragrance as well. Lovely foliage in between, hardy. All it asks of you is, like all clematis, keep my roots nice and cool, keep the top of me in the sun, and feed me regularly with a liquid feed.
I love it. We ticked all the boxes with that one. Evergreen, easy to look after, nice and compact, fragrant. Like you don't want any more from your clematis, do you? 550101 is the item number, and it's a double up deal. So you can get one for £12.99. The second one you put it in your basket, you'll get it for £1. £1 more, so it breaks down to £7 each, which is fantastic. Camellia Yuletide, yay! It's been on the favourites table for 2 weeks now. I don't know if it'll be here next week. I've no idea if we've got it on the show plan next week. But this one is just so beautiful. Camellias, I love them anyway. You've got lovely evergreen nature to camellias, but it's the flowers, isn't it, on here?
Yeah,
and winter flowers.
And winter flowers, and in that sense, it reminds me of one of those. We all know one of those people in life, don't we? Male or female, who one day you see them wearing something and somebody says, oh, shouldn't have worn that, she shouldn't wear that, he shouldn't wear that, and you know what, you think, yes, you should have. I love
why
it.
not?
I love your audacity.
Absolutely.
I love your cheek. I love your confidence.
Go for it.
And that's what this camellia is. This camellia's like this because in the depths of the coldest, meanest, nastiest time of the year, it just starts to flower for you and give you beautiful colour with these pure sort of red flowers with these lovely yellow stamens in the middle, on top of super glossy foliage, evergreen foliage, fabulous pot plant if you haven't got acid soil in the garden, so you can grow it in ericaceous compost in a pot. But if you've got roadies and things in your garden growing happily, you can plant it straight into the garden. But this is a stunning plant that we're sending out to you, already well established, well branched, smothered in flower buds. So you will get flowers on this year. And just a little quick tip going ahead as well, whether you grow this in your garden or in a pot, just make sure from about mid to late summer you always keep these plants hydrated, preferably with rainwater, because that's the best way to get the buds to form and set ready for winter flowering.
Yeah, and there's loads of buds on here. I mean, you'll get flowers. You're going to get loads of flowers this winter on here, because honestly, pretty much at every leaf axil along every single stem, I can see buds. There are buds everywhere. Look, there's one just in there. There you go. Just behind my thumb there, and that is the same along every single leaf axil. There's another one just up there, look. So many flowers you're going to get on here, and it's a brilliant saving. You're going to save £15 on this one. If you can go for a pair of these, one either side of your front door, will be the most beautiful welcome, festive welcome over the Christmas period. 510818 is the item number. Go to yougarden.com to place your order. Always enter the code YGTV4224 this week, because it'll unlock all the savings and it'll put that free gift into your basket as well, which is a bag of 25 of our Narcissus tete-a-tete bulbs. Bye, Neil.
Bye, Neil.
Bye, Neil.
Have a good Sunday.
He's got family coming around, apparently.
Oh, you're cooking a nice roast.
Oh,
you're doing a roast.
Yummy, yummy, yummy. We're going to be eating muffins for our lunch. Well, I brought donuts in. Stu brought muffins, so we're quite looking forward to lunchtime.
I
full of
didn't bring
sugar.
anything and felt guilty, so
No, it's fine.
next
We'll
time I will
feed you.
bring some.
It's all good. Right, let's tell you about the compost quickly, because you do need to put in an order of this. You do not want to run out of the compost. If you do, you'll be really annoyed. I've done it myself, and then you end up buying a bag from the local garden centre or the garage, and you're so annoyed because it's never as good. This is packed with incredible ingredients.
It is, yeah. I mean, just to run through this really quickly, first of all, to say this is a hugely peat-reduced compost, and we've been reducing the peat in our compost for a long, long time. Eventually, like, you know, the rest of the world will have to go peat-free eventually. But what we've done is we've taken the peat out, but we've put composted wood fibre in. And what that does, that creates this incredible texture. It lets the air get down to the roots. It lets the roots penetrate down through the compost, even if you're one of the most minuscule, tiny little seeds, or whether you're a fresh cutting. It allows the water to drain through, but also the peat element holds on to the moisture as well. Also, there's a wetting agent in this, makes the compost hydrophilic, which means it wants to absorb moisture. But of course, if you're a house plant, if you're a seed, if you're a cutting, and you're starting off in life, you need to be sustained as you grow. Slow release fertiliser in this as well, so it's going to keep feeding your plants for up to 6 months. pH balance as well, so it's not like at the ericaceous end of the scale or the alkaline end of the scale. It will suit the vast majority of plants, and it comes direct to you from the suppliers. That's why it's in these plain white bags. The Stuart Product always says the value is in the bag, not on the bag. We don't need to put all fandangle nonsense on the bag. We just put it freshly in there for you, send it out to you, and the results speak for themselves. But sometimes we do a random thing where Stu just goes into we say page 7, page 4, page 9 of the reviews, and Stu, every time we go in there, it's almost like 5-star, 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 5-star. I've used this for years. Beck's used this for years. All my house plants are growing in this. I grew my cucumbers, my tomatoes in this year. When I put new plants in the garden, I always incorporate some of this around my plants, because where I live in Norfolk, I've got really sandy soil, and it drains really, really well. Doesn't hold on to the moisture or the nutrients, so I incorporate some of this, and it just gives the soil a lot more heart.
Stu's just having a little look at the most recent reviews. Everything's excellent, thank you. What else? Every bit as good as it usually is. I've only used this compost since the first time I tried it because of the excellent results I got. I like that, that's quite nice. So yeah, there's loads and loads of amazing reviews. So if you're watching and thinking you're talking crazy, it's just a bit of dirt, please go and have a little look on the reviews on the website. If you've missed anything, look, go into the website there, go into the Live Now button. That'll take you through to where you will watch the show, but also where you can see all of the items that we've selected for the potting show today. If you've only just started watching and you're thinking, hang on a minute, you're going to go off air in a few minutes, don't worry, you can rewind it. You can go right back to the beginning. You can skip through the bits that you don't want to watch. That's the beautiful thing here. What did we start with?
What, today?
Oh, yeah, look, there we are. The Bromeliad, the delphinium, the sarcococca. That was where we started the day. It's been very nice to have your company. Thank you so much. We are wrapping up. We're into the last 10 minutes. So just want to give you a quick reminder of the most popular pot that we've had on the show today. We've got a few different options, but this is the most popular one. And this is the black and white planter. For some reason, they call them silver. There's nothing silver. They are black and white. They are 12-inch in diameter, and it's a buy one, get two free. So put one in your basket. That code you can see down there, YGTV4224. If you place that in where it says on the website, do you have an offer code, put that in. The other two will then appear in your basket. And we think these have got a lovely sort of oriental theme to them, a kind of Eastern theme with the wicker pattern you've got on there. Textured. We just put the Bromeliad in there. That's going to work great. But it's going to work for a variety of things, isn't it?
Yeah, these are classic as well. I used to hate plastic pots. I was never a fan of plastic pots because in the olden days, plastic pots were naff. They used to have sort of seams down the side. They had bits of wafy plastic coming off, and they'd come off the blow mould, and even sometimes even the patterns were all smudged and didn't look nice. I mean, these look so classic, so beautiful, UV stable, frost resistant, lightweight, going to last you many, many, many years, and a really ideal size to start off a lot of the plants that we've got in the studio today. For instance, like the sarcococca, that would be happy in here for a good 2 or 3 years. The fasicularia, that would be happy in there for a good 2 or 3 years or so. Or you could put bulbs in here. Your parrot tulips would look fabulous, or one of your Caribbean lilies would look fantastic in here. These are adorable, aren't they?
Absolutely adorable. And a great price as well when it's a buy one, get two free. So put one in your basket, enter the code, the other two will appear in your basket, 130227. Let's have a quick look if there's something else you want to add into your basket. Maybe it is going to be the Alium bubble bath that we've got here for you. I think this is a gorgeous variety of Alium because it's a slightly lighter colour and it's got a bit more of a fuzzy kind of look to it, but it's quite a long flowering one, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's slightly different in the fact that normally when you buy Aliums, you buy those great big bulbs, don't you? And you plant one bulb, you get one flower stem come up out of it. This is more like a kind of perennial Alium, if you like, in that you plant this and you get multiple flower heads from the one plant, perhaps as many as 10 or 15. And they're about sort of 7, 8, 9 inches tall. They're not hugely tall. And they flower for quite a long period of time, and they're absolutely knockout. Bubble bath is such a beautiful name for this as well.
Lovely.
And look at the way the bees and the pollinating insects love these as well. And don't deadhead these, because even when the flowers have gone over, the structure of the seed head looks fantastic. So they give interest even once the flower head has lost colour. All they ask of you, plant them somewhere sunny, well drained, nice bright position. They don't mind poorish soil either, not particularly fussed about soil. They'll come back year after year after year, and they'll gradually spread and form a bigger clump. And eventually you can lift and break up the clump and divide it and make more clumps from the original one.
Just to show you what you are getting, I know it doesn't look like much at the moment, but obviously there's lots going on under the ground. Did we take this one out? Did we show? Let's have a look. Yeah, there's plenty going on under the ground there. So loads of energy in there. It's going to get nicely established. And then next year you're going to have that kind of look going on in your garden. 561206 is the item number if you want to go for those Alium bubble bath plants. Better than half price. £12 saving on that one. We're going to come back over. I'm so glad we're coming back over to the beautiful tulip parrot mix. I think it's our favourite today. It certainly sounds like it's your favourite today as well. They're one of the most outstanding variety of tulips that I think you can plant in your garden. He's got 3 bags. I'm going to place an order after the show. Definitely going to have these in my life.
The weird thing is, tulip parrots have been around for quite a long time, and I've flicked through bulb catalogues before now, and I've flicked past. Yeah, I've ignored them. I've flicked past them, and then
why?
Yeah, I think it may be when I've seen them before, they've been in individual colours.
Yeah, maybe.
And then I've suddenly seen this mix, and it's like, whoa, that is something else. And you look at the colours on these. It's the colour, it's the shape, it's the stature of these. It's the way some of the petals are sort of incurving, and then some are almost recurving a little bit.
Yeah, I quite like a bit more of the free-form shape that you've got going on. I mean, tulips are well known for having that classic goblet shape, but I quite like that these are a bit more free-form.
Yeah, they're kind of almost like the hippies of the tulip world, really. I mean, that one in the top there, that's almost slightly a little bit more behaved, isn't it? The one in but then the one next to it on the right, that's really kind of going for it. But it's just the colour mix in this is phenomenal, and the shape, and that's why I ordered 3 packs, because I just can't wait to see these flowering on my patio next spring. I think when I get home I'm going to order a pack of 3 of the Lavals. The
Lavals.
Yeah, because not the Lavals. What's the one I said?
The Wickers.
What's the one? No, it was the Laval, wasn't it? That I said I thought the parrots would look good in.
Yeah, it was those.
Yeah, I'm going to order 3 of those.
They come in twin packs, so you need to order 4.
Oh, okay. In that case,
that case, just buy some more bulbs.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So but these, I'm really glad you're loving these as well, because it's going to be really great next spring. We're on there next spring, seeing all your pictures.
I can't wait to see all the pictures.
Yeah, and we'll share our
honestly.
pictures. And
now remember, they're on a 3 for 2 mix and match, so it's up to you which bulbs you put in your basket. Put 3 bags that you want in your basket. If they're in the deal, if they're in the 3 for 2 mix and match, one of those bags will be free when you enter the code. It'll be the lowest price that will be free, but just add which ones you want in your basket. Oh, and of course, you're right, Stu, yes, you will get your free Narcissus included in there as well, which is a bag of 25 of the tete-a-tete bulbs, the little dinky daffodils. So there's another free bag of bulbs for you. This one is also in the 3 for 2 mix and match offer, and it is the Caribbean Lily, the Scilla peruviana, the bulb that's going to take you on a journey. When you see that bud open, and then it's going to open in succession, outwards, inwards, real kind of tropical looking beauty, but not tropical at all.
Yeah, this is like the sort of flower equivalent of a box set. set, really, because you know, you're just going to be hooked on this, and you're just going to keep following it day by day by day. Unfortunately, you can't fast forward it like a box set. You're going to have to wait. But you know, the journey of waiting to see these open is going to be phenomenal. And again, I'm so excited that I've ordered some of these because I saw all your pictures this year, and I just want to be on the journey with you this year, enjoying these.
Me too.
Along with you and Bex.
Yeah, absolutely. 630045 if you want to add the Scilla peruviana, the Caribbean lily, into your basket. We are now into the last minute, so I very much appreciate all of you for spending any time with us at all. If you've just joined, we've been here for 3 hours. Where you been? But you can rewind the show, don't worry. You can just go right back to the beginning and start again. We'll be back. I won't, unfortunately, because I'm gonna spend a bit of time with the kids on school holiday, but Adam will be here with the lovely Sean Ryan on Thursday morning, so you can watch that from 10 a.m. If you would like to watch a bit more, if you're not done, you want to do a bit more gardening and chat with us, we're going to be live this afternoon on TikTok. So if you've got on Facebook and you're on Instagram, just download TikTok, set up a profile, look for YouGarden. We'll be live from about 1:30, and we've got loads of houseplants on there as well. What else do I need to tell you? Make sure you check out your baskets, grab whatever you've done now that we've finished the show. This is where we start getting really busy and you start putting your orders through. So a big thank you to you all. Thanks for sending your pictures. Thanks for your time. Thank you for your knowledge.
Thanks, Bex.
And we will see you all very, very soon. I hope you enjoy your gardening. I hope you enjoy all your orders. Let us know what's going on in your gardens and come back on Thursday with Adam and Sean.